Edinburgh is a city steeped in stories, from fascinating folklore to ancient myth. Just take a walk around the city and you'll find an abundance of unicorns adorning the architecture. You'll not be short of ghost stories either. And in this quiet graveyard, you'll discover the inspiration for Lord Voldemort and Professor McGonagall. There's a monument to the heartwarming story of Greyfriars Bobby, who stood guard at his owner's grave for 14 years after his death, or the lone piper who haunts the Royal Mile. And our very own volcano has links to the dragons and the knights of King Arthur. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Come find the magic. Edinburgh is the UK's greenest city. Not that we want to make everyone green with envy. There's a space here for everyone, from high escapes to cosy glens, from secret gardens to old railway paths. There's beaches to comb and parks to play in, hills to climb and adventures to begin. Discover panoramic city views as you climb Edinburgh's extinct volcano. Edinburgh's a city for walkers, hikers, bikers, runners, thinkers, ramblers. Discover a new path today. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Edinburgh is a city shaped by water. You can follow the waters from the Pentland Hills right through the city to the Firth of Forth. There's beaches and bridges and boats to see. There's stories to find at the Roman settlement and the old bunker on Cramond Island. Just follow the water and you'll find a story. Edinburgh, the story never ends.
Good morning. Welcome to the Royal Commonwealth Pool in Edinburgh. I'm Robert Taylor, with me is Tony Rose. We'll be doing the live stream this morning. Morning, Tony.
Good morning, everybody.
Good to have you with us on day 2. This is session 4, the morning session, where we have all our fastest swimmers taking part. You'll very shortly see the caption coming up of the various events that we've got, Tony.
Yep, you can see the diving pit there, still warming up some of these swimmers. Main pool's closed for racing starting in a few minutes' time, and here we have the racing schedule up this morning. So a full-packed programme this morning. First event, Duncan Scott coming in. He's got a heavy programme this morning. He's also doing the 200 fly that you can see on there as well.
A couple of skins events this evening, double skins events, backstroke for the men and women, and freestyle men and women's breaststroke.
In that women's breaststroke, we will have another race off with Cara Hanlon, who has been in great form recently. Just got pipped last night in the 100, in the 50, in 100 last night.
Yeah, we also have breaststroke. James Wilby won her quite comfortably last night on the 200, but he's got his sparring partner Adam Peaty, who swam yesterday in the 200. Apparently pulled out of that, but he'll be the hot favourite in this one.
Yep, and we've got in the 50 backstroke for women, we've got Kylie Mass, Olympic world medalist. So a really top-class field all the way through the programme this morning. So lots of, if it's like yesterday, it'll be another cracking day of swimming.
Yeah. Look at again for Daniel Whiffen, the Irishman, in that 800 free later on. And of course the last event, we'll have Frey Anderson in that 200. So busy programme ahead.
We're not having to hunt the top quality world-class swimmers this morning,
They're all here,
Robert.
Yeah, a lot of them are all here from all over Europe. And just about ready, as you can see, to get underway. We kick off with that 400 IM. 4 heats ahead of us. As Tony said, Duncan Scott and Charlie Hudson go in that last heat. Thomas Janssen in the one before. The last 2 heats are seeded. It's our 7 swimmers who are competing in our very first of the 400 IM. So get underway very, very shortly. All our officials on deck, and I think we're pretty well covered for officials today. We're a bit short with it being Friday, a lot of people working, but full complement I think today.
Nobody just put off by the bad weather. Nobody's missing, I don't think. And
it's actually a lovely day outside in Edinburgh. Blue skies. I know that parts of England are getting hit pretty bad, especially over the Pennines the other day. Lots of lorries and cars getting stuck, heading over Southall with Moor and everything. But hopefully, if you're stuck at home, you're able to watch the live stream from Edinburgh, and hope you enjoy this morning's coverage.
Indeed, we were slightly concerned at the beginning of the week when we had another beast from the east that we got hit in.
Yeah, that was
a number of years ago, where I think the only thing operating in Edinburgh that weekend was this meet. Everything else was almost completely shut down.
Yeah, it was indeed. So nice to have you with us. Just about ready to get underway. Our 7 swimmers on the blocks.
Just whilst we're waiting, we might as well run through. That's Gregor Ross from City of Glasgow in 1, Joshua Sakri, City of Peterborough in 2. James Burnett, Warren Bass in 3, Ben McLaughlin, Gary in 4, John Taylor, University of Aberdeen Performance in 5, Fraser Tetlow, Gary in 6, and we have Ewan Weir, Dundee City Aquatics in 17, in lane 7. Quite a number of youngsters in this. There's 3 15-year-olds, which is pretty impressive seeing them in the morning session of this high-quality meet. And it's James Burnett, lane 3, the Warrender swimmer, had an unfortunate disqualification in his 200 IM yesterday, so he'll be looking to bounce back from that. He won his national age group title in this event, was finalist at the British Summer Championships as well, so one of the upcoming stars of Scottish junior swimming, and he's really attacked this one on the first 100 on the butterfly.
He certainly has gone out pretty strongly, Tony, as you say. looking good at the moment, but we still have their strengths and weaknesses in this IM.
Yeah. So look out, Joshua Sackree is one of the 15-year-olds in this heat, and he was a junior finalist last night in the 200 breaststroke. So I expect to see the lane 2 swimmer coming through the latter half. So maybe way at the back at the beginning here, but I think, as always with IM, it all changes on the breaststroke.
Certainly a good start from James. It's 3 or 4 metres clear at this early stage, Tony, and going well in lane 5 is John Taylor from Aberdeen Performance. Very consistent performer, John. He's very good in distance freestyle, always has been. So he'll come through late, holding second. But James, nice,
going for this, isn't he?
Well, 4 seconds clear already. Yeah. And you can see with the splits that 36.01, he's actually taken about 2.5 seconds off the rest of the field for that first 50. And if you can replicate that, you'll have a very healthy advantage at halfway.
Indeed, the entry time he's in on is a 4:49.41, so we'll just keep an eye on that. A lot of these swimmers using this event as a precursor to either the national trials that will be in Sheffield in a couple of weeks' time, or in Scotland here. There's the Scottish national age groups in the middle of April, so this is a kind of staging post for many of them on the way to that. And those trials for a lot of these countries happening in April in preparation for the World Championships in Japan later in the year. But James has still got a good lead. John's coming back a wee bit, but he's certainly ripped this field apart in this first heat this morning.
See the yellow cap in third place, Ben McLaughlin from Geary. He's trying to get into the picture, but a long way behind our leader. Looks at this stage of the first heat pretty well wrapped up, Tony.
Yeah, it looks like it, and he's a good middle and long distance breaststroker as well, James. So if he can hold on to the end of this breaststroke, then you've got to fancy him to take the heat, and hopefully for him get a strong time. He'll be gunning to try and get in the junior final this evening. Just to remind everyone, there is a B final and an open final and a junior final in each of these events, with the exception of the 8s and 15s, where the fastest heat is swum in the evening. But James coming in at the end of the breaststroke, 3:40.74.
You kind of fancy he's likely to come inside that 4:49.
Got to think so.
Depends how much he wants to push it.
This was really good form from James. He would have been really disappointed last night. Yesterday afternoon when he did get DQ'd in that 200 IM. It's a real sign of a strong, resilient swimmer to come back the next day and absolutely nail a good swim.
Fraser Tetlow, as I mentioned a wee bit earlier, coming through on that breaststroke to try and get in the mix. He's now gone clear in second place, and just looks like he's pulling away from John Taylor.
They are pulling back a little bit on James. I think he's maybe suffering a little bit from that really, really rapid first 200 in the first, and Ben is really working hard here. 17-year-old from Geary trying to get back on James. Don't think he's going to make it though.
Should be good for a swim this evening though in the junior final. James just hanging on there. In fact, John Taylor really stretching virtually on his entry time there for James.
Yeah, just a 0.4 over it, but that's a good early morning heat swim. Early start at this event, so getting up and ready for 8:30 is pretty tough, but the three of them had a good swim there.
That I think should guarantee both James and Ben places in the final for the juniors this evening. There are a few juniors in the slightly faster heats, but it's the top 8, so I think that's probably going to be good enough unless we get some really fast swimmers in the afternoon session who can get into finals.
And we were finding that yesterday actually, because there were a number of people making it from the afternoon, even though there were swims in the morning. The swims in the morning where it seemed to be slightly off pace.
Yeah.
First morning of a meet, probably the first meet for quite some time for some of these folk. And the swimmers in the afternoon almost had a little bit of an advantage. They'd had the extra lie-in and they were able to hit the ground running in the afternoon. So we'll see whether, as the weekend goes over, that dissipates a wee bit.
So our second heat in lane 1, representing WVZ, Able de Rio. Ellie Sibley from Nova Centurion 2, 3 Don Bizzett, Stirling University, 4 Jay Manners, Derwent in 5 Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow, 6 is Sam Williamson, University of Bath, 7 Luke Van Rouge from Eindhoven, and 8 Joshua Robinson, Derwent So a nice start by lanes 3 and 6, Don Bizzett, Sam Williamson. He's going to take the touch at the butterfly. It's Sam just by about half a second. I would feel covered by around 3 seconds after that first leg.
Sam Williamson, Bath swimmer, and in lane 6, in lane 3, sorry, Don Bizzett. Sam was in the B final event this last year, so he's returning from Bath. And still pretty close there between Sam and Don. Only half a second between them.
So pretty close at this approaching halfway. 4 or 5 lads, all very much within about 5 metres of one another.
Yeah, Robert Burgess coming through strong in this backstroke, which you'd expect. He was in the junior final of the 50 back yesterday, won backstroke age group championships last year, so strong backstroke from Robert brings him all the way up, possibly to be leading at this halfway stage, maybe just slightly behind Sam.
Also got a useful breaststroke, as has Don Bizzett, so expect these guys to try and push on if they can. Don Bizzett especially strong on breaststroke.
And showing that straight away, almost 2 body lengths within the first 25 metres.
Now up at Stirling, University of Stirling, Don Bizzett. Swimmer I think he used to be based down in the city of Oxford.
He's really come through on this breaststroke leg, hasn't he?
You can see the big difference a useful breaststroke has there, Tony. You know, he's pulled virtually 3.5 seconds clear.
Yeah, good throwing from Luke Van Rooij as well, from one of the many Dutch swimmers over in lane 7. He's come through very strongly in that breaststroke leg. Was in 5th at the turn in the backstroke, and he's already back up now to 2nd place. Luke Van Rooij.
So this looks like Don Bizzett's race here. Very healthy advantage now.
And yeah, Jay Manners and Luke Van Rooij are vying now for 2nd place.
Freestyle's maybe not Don's strongest section of the IM, but got a very healthy advantage of almost 5 seconds.
Yeah, so although James in the previous heat had a similar lead, and they did slowly eke it back, but he still won. And it's but it does look like it's second. A good race is on for 2nd between Luke Van Rooij and Jay Manners.
And you kind of think that Don is probably trying to swim maybe to get into a B final here,
yep,
Tony.
Absolutely. So with only 2 circle seeded heats here, he knows what he's what the margins are ahead of him. So 4:30 in terms of qualifying are the slowest times in those last 2 heats. So he'll be trying to get as close to that as he can. Although, as I say, the heat swims yesterday morning were quite a bit down for most people on their entries. So he's just going to go as hard as he can, see what happens.
Well, Luke did come back a bit at him, but he still won by about 2 seconds. 4:37.25. Roy 4:38.87 and Manners 4:40.31. So
So that's a nice improvement. Yeah. Luke Van Roy there has improved on his entry time. The others are slightly down on it. So good swimming. Moving on to the third heat in a minute. There you go. That's the result confirmed.
So I'll be interested to see what happens on the next two heats, because all these swimmers in the next two heats have entry times a good 5 seconds or more faster than that finished time. But it's what they do in the pool this morning. Some of them will maybe really just, as you say, Tony, not maybe into full race mode for the day. In fact, it looks like we've got at least one, maybe two empty lanes here.
Yeah. So let's go through that as we go through. So Tom Robinson, University of Aberdeen performance in 1. No swimmer in 2. Leo Gruert, Ligue Ora, French team in 3. Thomas Janssen, Netherlands. Fantastic. 200 IM race with Duncan Scott last night. Almost got back on Duncan, but just missed out. No swimmer in 5. Ben Harrison from Loughborough Uni in 6. Pierce Greening, Stirling Uni in 7, and Harper Whitehead, another Stirling University swimmer, in lane 8. So it is Thomas Janssen. He's looking very strong. He's had some cracking swims already at this meet. 22-year-old Dutch swimmer. He was European Championship finalist last year. So top quality swimmer from the Netherlands, and he's already established a couple of body lengths lead here. And he turns 58.66, so already good 2 or 3 seconds up on the previous heats, which you'd expect in these circle seeded heats.
Certainly the fastest entry in this on the seeded. He's got very health advantage at this early stage.
Yeah. I think he actually went on a best time last night at 200 IM, and he really pushed Duncan Scott right to the end.
Yeah, it got pretty close towards that final turn. Duncan had a bit of work to do. Just managed to pull a little bit out in the last 15 metres. Cracking race.
Yeah, and Duncan's up in the next heat, so we'll see whether they're going to reprise their rivalry this evening. But focusing on this race at the moment, he's already that's 10 metres up really on the rest of the field, looking very comfortable there. Steady head on the backstroke, nice long stroke, legs just keeping pace, and he turns 2:05.11.
And you'll see some of these guys do very slightly different turns. Some of them will flip over, some might just touch and push. But the key thing is they finish on their back and then push off on the front.
Yep.
There are some new FINA rules that came into force yesterday.
I was going to ask you about them in the backstroke in particular. Some fun stuff in the backstroke finish. Let's save that enjoyment and that excitement for everyone when they get to the backstrokes later on, Robert.
Yep. Something, let's say that the officials in Scotland are a little bit surprised about one or two of the new rules, but it's what it is, and we'll talk
evolution,
about it later.
I suppose.
Yep. Oh, he's commanding advantage now that Thomas has got.
Yeah, it's looking really strong.
For the rest of the guys, it's all about the time to try and get into an A or potentially a B final.
Yep. Ben Harrison is the closest to him, the Loughborough Uni swimmer. He was 5th at the National Short Course Championship late last year, so he's finalled at national meets, and he's ahead of lane 3. That's the French swimmer from Ligue Ora, Leo Gruert, who's also 5th in his national championships last year. And lane 1 here, good strong breaststroke from Tom Robinson, University of Aberdeen swimmer.
Certainly the first 3 home in that previous heat might well fancy another swim.
Yeah.
It's not particularly fast for some of the swimmers further back. I could see the third swimmer coming in probably just inside 3:40 here.
Yeah, but Thomas has not held back in this morning heat at all. 4:18 entry time. He's going to be there or thereabouts in this morning heat, so that's really putting a marker down for the rest of the swimmers. 4:19.57, so that is a really good swim for Thomas. He's on fire this weekend.
But didn't seem to be doing too much there, Tony. He still looked...
yeah, he looked good.
Could at least shave a few seconds off without any problem there.
I think with a bit of a race, somebody swimming beside him.
Yeah.
There's more to come there.
Well, Harrison 4:35.10, Grout 4:37.44. So the first four all under 4:40. So that I'm pretty certain will guarantee the first three in that previous heat down to
some sort of swim this evening,
yeah,
which is good. And there's the race result confirmed. Let's see how that now compares with this final heat. There's a lineup there. Evan Davidson, the youngster from Perth City, represented Britain at the Youth Olympics last year. Yannick Wieland, Netherlands, in lane 2. Angus Allison, Stirling University in 3. Duncan Scott from Stirling University in 4. Charlie Hudson, Loughborough Uni in 5. Evan Jones, Stirling University in 6. Trent Oliver in 7. And Charles Kershaw from Loughborough in lane 8. All 8 swimmers. Pretty strong Scottish contingent in here. Angus Allison, Duncan Scott, Charlie Hudson and Evan Jones. All Scottish senior swimmers now. Evan Davidson, an up-and-coming junior swimmer in lane 1. So good current and future talent in the pool at the moment. Duncan already pushing hard at the beginning of this race. Be interesting, wonder whether he's, having seen Thomas earlier, will be wanting just to make the Dutch swimmer realise he's still on form this morning.
Off to a very strong start, Duncan. 57.17, almost 2 seconds ahead of Charlie Hutchison, with the Scot Evan Jones going well in 3rd place. Running just a little bit faster than Janssen.
About a second and a half. So on his outside from Duncan is Charlie Hudson, so say the Loughborough swimmer. Won the British Summer Championships last year. Got touched out of the gold at the British Universities recently. Has changed some events over the years. Very strong 200 free fly early in his career. He's really moved on to the medley at Loughborough. He's a podium potential swimmer, so in the reckoning for potentially future senior meets. 2:03.27 for Duncan. So he's a couple of seconds up on Thomas from the previous heat.
Evan Jones holding 3rd ahead of Tony Trent Oliver. Over in lane number 7. Those two almost together.
In that lane 3, Angus Allison, breaststroke specialist. Expect him to come through in this leg.
Well, the two fastest in this are well clear now. Duncan virtually 2 seconds clear of Charlie Hutchison. And very close between Jones and Trent Oliver for 3rd at the moment. Beginning to tighten up for that 3rd place, Tony, but no doubt those two at the head of affairs, Duncan and Charlie, well clear.
Good breaststroke leg from Yannick Wieland, not in your shot at the moment. Lane 2 from another Netherlands swimmer. He's really come through strongly and is actually challenging Evan Jones and Tony Joe for the 3rd at the moment. See him coming through in the bottom of the screen there. So that's a separate race to the one going on between Charlie and Duncan.
Yeah, it's a very strong breaststroke section. Come through from roughly 5th, 6th place into 3rd.
But these two suspect just pacing it now as they come into the final turn. Both guaranteed an A final slot, I would think.
And you just wonder if Duncan's really going to push it. I don't think he's going to be too concerned if he's in lane 5.
No, it was lane 8 last night for the 200 freestyle final. And got to wonder whether the 3 at the back are fighting 2 out of 3 of that perm for the A final. They'll want to get in that A final, I'm sure. But Duncan Scott comes in 4:19.94, so actually just a couple of tenths down on Thomas's time in the previous heat. Looks like it is going to be Yannick Wieland just edging third there from Evan Jones.
Well, I think the first 5 home, I suspect are in the A final. Angus Allison
might just squeeze in there.
Will certainly be in the mix.
I think Angus has maybe just edged 8th.
Yeah, that might be significant. Just might get him outside position.
Yeah, just slightly faster than the.
And the youngster Evan Davison from Perth finishing in 8th position. So I think that will still be good enough for him to come back. There we are. Angus Allison, as you suspected, just scraping in.
There's your B final. Robert Burgess at 16th, so the last 2 or 3 there are the ones that will have to sit nervously as they wait the afternoon swims to see whether they still have their B final place.
Of course, some of these swimmers that are in there are, if they're over 18, they won't be coming back. So swimmers like possibly Gregor Ross, Fraser Tetlow, who are 25, 26, they might well be back with a swim later this evening.
Good. So moving on to, it says one of 3 heats there. The last of these 3 heats will be swum this evening as the fastest heat. So we have 2 heats this morning. In this first heat you had Katie Noble there, Newcastle swimmer in lane 1, Hannah Hodgkiss from Repton in 2, Alicia Dingle from Loughborough University in 3, Phoebe Arbuckle, Warren swimmer in 4, Lauren Bradley Holt from Stirling Uni in 5, Amy Shields, City of Glasgow in 6, Isabel Willard, Millfield in 7, and Susie McNair, Stirling swimming in lane 8.
This has been an interesting one from a Scottish point of view. It's a bit of a rarity, dare I say, that we have 2 young ladies who are pretty good at distance. The wonder youngster, 15-year-old Phoebe Arbuckle, who's had an amazing season last year and is going from strength to strength again this year.
Right.
And Susie McNair, who finished 2nd last night in the 400 free, improved on her entry time by about 1.5 seconds. And she'll finish very strongly, as she usually does, but we've got a nice strong start from Lauren in lane 5.
She's definitely taken this one out. Big range of ages here. We've got 15-year-old Phoebe, and next to her is lane 3 is 21-year-old Elisa Dingle. Both, as you mentioned, there's Susie and Phoebe. They're Scottish Junior National Team members. Both were swimming at Geneva. The big team and support staff went over to Geneva in February from the Scottish team. They won the team title at the meet, and the 2 of those, Susie and Phoebe, had good international experience at that meet.
Swimmer over in lane 6, Amy Shields, very, very strong. A few years ago on backstroke, she's had 1 or 2 injury concerns over the last year or 2, but she's also pretty useful at distance events, and we'll see how she performs in this one.
Originally from the Borders, I think, wasn't she? Or she was it
no, she
Mackay
Bearsden, yeah. Sue McNair and Phoebe Arbuckle in the mix here.
Yeah, it's still early doors, really, isn't it? There's different people will pace this in a different way. Lauren has clearly decided to go for it. And she turns at 200 and 2:14.52.
Yeah.
And the closest to her at the moment is Alicia Dingle, the Loughborough University swimmer.
But both the two young Scots, 16 and 15-year-old respectively, Susie and Phoebe, still well there.
Yeah.
And they will probably relish the latter stages of the race, Tony. Pretty strong coming through.
Yeah, Phoebe definitely is a 1500 swimmer as well.
Yeah.
I think for Susie this is possibly more the top of her range, I think.
This would probably be about her stretch, yeah, the 800. She's pretty good at 15. This might be the better of the two distances for Susie. Another one that seems to go out very slow in the first 400 and then flies in the latter stages, especially the last 150, 200 metres. She's actually going out pretty strongly with Susie.
And it's still though Lauren Bradley Holt in first place, 3:24.95. Just keep an eye on the gap. So she's got a couple of seconds on Alicia and 4 seconds on the two younger swimmers. So we'll just see how that plans out. Bit of a spurt there from Phoebe in that 50. She's all of a sudden looks like she's coming back. We got settled into a rhythm and decided doesn't want to lose touch with these swimmers, and so is a bit of a spurt to get there. And you can see there that split that she did was nearly a second up on the other swimmers, and all of a sudden she's making her move back.
Yeah, on paper she's about 14 seconds faster than Susie McNair, and she's just, as you say, Tony, she looks as though she's just beginning to make a move. As we reach halfway, and this is where she will begin to start pulling back on the other two, I fancy.
Yeah, swimming a mature race for a 15-year-old already.
So you kind of think that within the next 200 metres she'll be in front.
Yeah, she's definitely got the momentum with her, hasn't she? She's swimming about half a second faster per 50 at the moment than the other two girls, and you can see that in the water as she's a little bit of the filling in the sandwich coming through there between Lauren and Alicia. It's a really good couple of hundreds in the middle of this race from Phoebe, already up to second now, less than half a second down, and it's all pretty much all level as they come up to the next.
Yeah, and if anything, Susie McNair is also making a move, maybe a slower move than Phoebe, but she's certainly making a move on that far side.
Yeah.
And
you see the legs just kicking in there, can't you? Just
yeah.
Bit of move.
You might actually see her moving potentially to challenge for that second and third place. We'll get down to the next turn.
Dead heat and an 800 at 500. That's as close as you can get. So yeah, Susie's definitely picked up, didn't want to lose sight of these swimmers.
Very difficult swimming in an outside lane. You really just got to pace your own race.
Yeah.
And she's doing pretty well on her own over there.
She is.
But this prolific 15-year-old is going tremendously well, Tony. It's lovely to see a youngster performing very well at distance events.
Yeah. It does look like her race plan was keep my own pace at 200, up for the 200, and then just stick at it. And she's repping 34s for the last 200.
Well, we've got 200 to go, and you really can't see past Phoebe. Now she's really struck gold here.
Susie's come up now, as you predicted, Robert, now into second, so let's not count her out at the moment.
Well, Susie McNair now gone third, and I fancy she'll be pushing for second when we get down to this 150 to go. So the Wanderlass looks pretty strong now. Still pacing sub 110s, which is very impressive.
So she'll be familiar with this pool. This is her home training pool.
Indeed.
Sometimes trains in the diving pool, sometimes trains in this 50-metre pool. Great facility to have. Used by many, many clubs in Edinburgh and across the Lothians.
Well, you can see Susie McNair is 2.5 seconds further back roughly, but she is gone just a fraction faster than that last 50. It was a fraction faster, but she's now in second place.
She looks strong, doesn't she?
She's still, seems as though she's got plenty in the tank over that far side. Another swimmer that's moved up to Stirling recently. They've got a good squad of swimmers there.
Yep.
And Susie's taking another half a second. Well, she's got almost 2 seconds to make up. It's almost, I don't say impossible, but
well,
it's a big ask.
0.6 in that last 50, so she'd really have it. She's given it a go. You can see her legs really motoring. So yeah, Susie over there, distance swimmer, being coached by Alison van der Meulen, knee shepherd.
Yep.
British record holder at 53, and Olympic and World Championship medalist. So I had a chat with her yesterday. She's very pleased with the way the squad's shaping up at the moment.
Well, there's a second, isn't it?
She's
maybe
got the momentum with her, hasn't she, Susie?
Yeah.
I think she's going to take this,
well,
you know.
This could be very, very tight at the end, Tony.
Lauren Bradley-Holt's coming back like a train as well on this last 25, so she left it too late.
Phoebe's still trying to pull it out at the very, very depth. Oh, it's tight. Susie McNair's got this.
And she does.
Well, that's a dead heat.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. What a fantastic race, Tony.
That was brilliant.
This is what racing is all about.
That was very impressive. 2 youngsters there, giving it all right to the end. They were dead heated at 500, and then no, there was Lauren and Phoebe were dead heating at 500, and then Phoebe and Susie get a dead heat in an 800 freestyle. I'm not sure that's something that happens very often.
I don't think I've ever seen that, and you and I have been involved in swimming for a year or two, Tony, and
although it's been probably so long that if I have seen it before, I've probably forgotten, Robert.
Indeed.
Great 800 freestyle there.
Yeah.
And they'll be aiming, they've got the trials coming up in Sheffield in a few weeks, and then they've got Scottish age group straight after, so I'm sure they are both still in pretty heavy training at the moment, so that bodes well for those meets in a month or so time.
The nice thing about the Scottish Nationals, we don't have them all swimming as a particular age. They'll all swim as entry times.
Yes.
So those 2 young ladies who will have pretty fast times from a Scottish point of view will almost certainly be in the middle lanes, I fancy, and that will be an interesting contest.
Indeed.
Both of them will be swimming for their own individual age groups, 15 and 16, so
something to look forward to.
Yeah, it'll be bragging rights, whoever wins that one, but they'll every chance they'll end up Scottish National Champions. But that's next month. On to our second heat. We have in lane 1, Sophie Main, Edinburgh University. 2, Harriet Oakley from Repton. 3, Emma Price, Borough of Stockton. 4, Anya Priest from Nova Centurion. In 5, Joanna Enkler from Ovesloe. 6, Livy Kingsland, Nova Centurion. In 7, Isla Inga from Millfield. And in 8, Izzy Jobson, Loughborough University. Well, a few youngsters in that previous heat. We have a 14-year-old from Millfield, Isla Ince, and a 15-year-old from Borough of Stockton, Emma Price, in lanes 7 and 3 respectively. And in fact, Emma Price in lane 3 is actually a no-show, so we just have the 7 in this one. The 2 middle lanes going off very strongly. All these swimmers are pretty close to the 9-minute mark. A couple of swimmers 8:50 and 8:58. That's the two girls in the middle lane, Anya and Joanna. Lane 8, Izzy Jobson from Loughborough. Pretty well on line with them. Gone 200.
Yeah.
And, a little between the two girls in the middle, but on the far side, Izzy Jobson still tracking them. Half a second cover the three at the moment.
Could we get a dead heat again in an 800 freestyle, Robert?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be fun, yeah.
So Johanna Inkner, the Oberöster swimmer, is Austrian champion last year, getting under that 9 minutes. So showing good form, 23-year-old. Isabella Jobson, she's in on a 9:09, but she's done a faster time than that recently at Sunderland Meet, but not entered in that, so she's got 9:07 in her under her belt. But that's still a bit slower than these two swimmers she's keeping up with in this opening stages. So if she can keep this up, Izzy, that's going to be quite a significant improvement if they're on pace. And still the three of them.
Yeah, it can be quite frustrating if you're entered a particular time, and after a couple hundred metres, you'll know exactly how you're going, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And for some of them, if it's indifferent, you've just got to keep it going and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's nothing worse than doing an 8 or a 1500, diving in the first 100 and realising it's not your day.
Indeed, indeed.
You've got another 15 of them to come, 14, deeply unpleasant. But that doesn't look like that's happening with these swimmers. They are looking very strong as they're turning at the next turn after this one. It'll be the halfway mark, and all looking good.
Yeah, always a worry when you're doing a distance event and you're in the outside lane. You kind of wonder, well, am I going to be last or second last? You concentrate on your own race, and as Susie did, finished in joint first that previous one, and that's certainly what Izzy Jobson's doing. She's gone out with a good race plan and sticking to it.
So we'll get a benchmark at this 400, compare it to the previous heat. So they're in at 4:30.58. Previous heat at this stage was 4:36. So these girls are looking at around about, if they can keep this up, low 9 minutes. So not under the 9 minutes, but see whether they can pull it back. Is known to do negative splitting as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that is a possibility. Yeah. Tony, you'll explain to our audience what a negative split is.
Yes.
Well, yes, you will.
Kind of what it says on the tin is when the second half of the race you swim faster than the first half, and very uncommon in sort of 50s, 100s, 200s, even 400s. But once you get to the 8s and 15s, it's not that uncommon where people can feel comfortable in the first half of the race, really pace it nice and comfortably, but going hard, and then feel that, as you were saying earlier on, Robert, there's a feel about these races sometimes, and feeling great at halfway, and you just keep kicking on. And these distant races, it only takes 0.2 or 3 or 4 of a second every 50, and all of a sudden you're going faster than you were in the first half. And it is not that uncommon for that to happen.
Well, as you said, Tony, that halfway split in that previous race, 4:36, Susie McNair was sitting in 4th position. It would be interesting to find out what her split was at halfway, because she was a few seconds slower. I'm not saying she did a negative split, but it would be pretty close to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the Austrian swimmers looking strong here. Johanna Inkner just starting to eke away slightly, and it's Izzy's keeping pace with Anya in lanes 4 and 8, but maybe Johanna Inkner's just made her move as she approaches the 600 turn, and all of a sudden,
I don't think we're going to get a dead heat now.
I don't think so. You never know. but I suspect not. So
Well,
12 seconds still now ahead. So they're swimming about 2 seconds per 100 quicker than the previous heat. So
she's certainly picked it up a little bit. So as you said, Tony, probably maybe something like a 9:04.
yeah.
Is very achievable, maybe even slightly faster than that. She's certainly going well. Somewhere over on the far side as he drops in. Entry time in 9:09.58. He's probably pacing around that time, Tony.
So yeah, looking good here. Nicely paced race again.
One more heat to come, but of course that comes this evening.
Yeah, that should be a cracking race.
Yeah.
We've got Leah Chris, Valentine Leclerc, Elsie Pisane, all within a couple of seconds of each other, and that should be a great
winner.
race.
Yeah, the 400 winner,
Yeah.
Fia, also well there. But stretching by the lads for the backstroke event, which is up and coming. Well,
So we may get
107.
one of these negative splits here, you know, because she went a 4:30. Well, the race was out in a 4:30.58, and at this pace, she could just sneak under the 9 minutes. So that would be nice of her.
Yeah. 8:26 or thereabouts would be a great turn.
Yeah, it's thereabouts.
Yeah.
And she's really pushed off the wall there. You can see a big kick coming in, and I think she is going to
we are
get
gonna
under
a
this 9 minutes.
Definitely, we're definitely going to get a negative split on this one.
And you can see there, Izzy Jobson still pushing hard on Anya Priest, but I think Anya's got second place sewn up. So Jana Inkner came into this event with an 8:58.96. I think she's going to get just over that, but not a lot. And she comes into the wall, and she's going to get under that 9 minutes. 8:58.41, and she gets a nice half a second PB. So that was a really well judged swim, and it was one of those slightly unusual negative splits. So she went 4:30 for the first 400 and a 4:28 for the second, and takes that.
Yeah.
It's a really good swim there. Second it was Anya Priest, 9:06.07, and in third Izzy Jobson was a 9:08.07. So she as well has done an improvement on her entry time. So that's a nice return for her.
Yeah.
Loughborough swimmer.
Very impressive to do a very comfortable negative split, if anything.
Easy
Tony.
for you to say, Robert.
Yep.
I'm not sure I would think it was very comfortable.
She looked pretty comfortable on that latter stages, though.
She looked great, really great. Might be slightly frustrated she didn't go out slightly faster.
Well, on your screen, folks, that is the third heat, but we won't be doing that.
That's a teaser for you.
If you manage to take the snapshot, then that's the 8 fastest swimmers for this evening. That will be a cracker, and you'll be able to give them your experience of that tonight, Tony.
Yeah, we're live streaming this evening with Ian Wright, Scottish national coach. That kicks off at 5:30, the finals this evening, so look forward to seeing you then. Now moving down to the other end of the pool, we've got 2 lots of 50, backstroke for men and women. In this, we have 6 heats in both of these. And in that first heat you saw there up on the screen, Ethan Lawton from Daventio, Luke Van Roy from PSV Eindhoven in 3, Brogan Hyde from Stirling Union 4, Mick Murder, Israeli junior national team in 5, Cameron Jameson from Repton. Pretty sure Mick Murder was in the 100 final last night.
So there'll be no messing with these guys that want to get smartly off the blocks.
Yeah. So we can now do the new rule, Robert.
Okay. At the finish, the swimmers used to be able to touch the wall, but had to have a part of their body, even if it was their big toe or a touch of the knee or whatever, above the water. Once they go beyond that flag, which you just can see those little white and black, they can submerge. Once the head goes beyond that flag, and remain submerged and touch the wall. It's highly unlikely to go immediately beyond the flag and be submerged, but up to previous to yesterday, if you were under the water before you touched, that was a disqualification. That no longer exists once your head has gone beyond that 5 metre flag. However, if you are under the water at any point during the race, submerged, you are disqualified.
Other than at the beginning of the first 15.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting to see whether anyone that came in on Friday, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone at this meet's worked out how to exploit that new rule, not exploit, take advantage of that new rule. I suspect, though, we'll see that through the summer.
Yep. So Jordan McPhail, Kevin Gooden-Tops, Tom Barden, Cameron Travis, Conor Massey, Auckland Nathan Gooden, Mads Muller and Alexander Sargent. That's the 8 in this one. Sargent over on the far side going well, and in lane 3, Tom Barden coming through strongly in 6 is Golden at 6.18 perhaps. It was 6.18. It's a finish order. Golden takes that. McPhail in 2nd and Sargent 3rd. That was how I saw it, Tony, and it was pretty close. In fact, 100th between 3rd and 4th.
That's a pretty close lead. Alexander Sargent showing good versatility. He was a 1500 swimming yesterday morning, and he's doing a 50 backstroke today. That is quite a range.
Our 3rd heat: Lewis Maxwell, Dean Fern, Elliot Clogg, Connor Sherrington, Robert Burgess back again, Sam Pearce, Tom Dunker and John Short.
So the last of the non-circle seeded heats here. Connor Sherrington, the Millfield swimmer. Next to him, Elliot Clogg, and then we've got 24-year-old Elliot Clogg and 15-year-old Dean Fern, who's the up-and-coming sprint star of Scottish swimming anyway. A strong start in lane 6 it is. Indeed. From Sam Pease, Stirling University swimmer, coming through strong in lane 3. Elliot Clogg from Loughborough University as well, and it may well be Elliot and Sam who are going to play this one out. Very close, and it is Elliot Clogg.
Clogg just gets that.
There we go, 26.55 confirmed. Sam Pease 2nd and Lewis Maxwell from Bath in 3rd place. Just so slightly over their entry time, but pretty good heat swimming. Charlie Brown in 1 there. Maurice Dietrich in 2. Adam Marana, Israel in 3. Jamie Robertson, Stirling Uni in 4. Simon Buscher of Overland in 5. Casper Pugard, Uvstaten in 6. Jack Skerry, Newhall in 7. And Rays Varley, Stirling Uni in 8. Simon Buscher won the skins last night in the fly.
He looked good, didn't he?
He did very strong all the way through. And it's showing he's a sprinter here in the backstroke as well.
Cracking start. Sherry going well in 7 though. I think Sherry might just shade this at the moment. Buscher going well in 5. It's pretty tight
and
between
lane 2
them
as well.
Now Sherry just snatched that. 26.17 from Dietrich. 26.32, Buscher 26.39.
Very close race again. Moving into penultimate heat. Philippos Yakovidis in 1 from Cyprus. Armin Leil from Estonia in 2. Stan Franks in 3. David Gershik, Israel in 4. Inbar Danziger from Israel in 5. Jonathan Adam, University of Bath in 6. Pablo Ortega Navarro, Spaniard in 7. And Luke Greenback is not swimming this weekend, so he's not in lane 8. Jonathan Adam Johnny won the 100 last night, just equal first with his teammate Cameron Brooker. See where he is on this 50. And it's very strong swimming here from Jonathan in 6, Barr in 5, and David Gershik in 4. And I think it's going to be Jonathan. And it isn't. It's Gershik who takes that 25.81. Second, Jonathan Adam, 25.97, and Inbar Danziger in third in 26.11.
Pretty fast times in that one.
Yeah,
they know what they need to do to get into that skins final this evening.
For those who haven't watched it, these 50s are skins is when they swim a number of races consecutively with a minute and a half gap between the boys, men and women swimming. So they have 8 at the beginning, and then they go down to 4, and then down to 2.
Yeah, they've changed the format a wee bit, Tony.
Yeah, slightly less rounds this year, isn't there?
Yeah.
But it's still an endurance. 350s flat out in the space of 5 minutes. It's a tough gig.
So, Stefan Omachenko, Herman Brucker, Manuel Martis Branchanio, Oliver Morgan, Scott Gibson, Joe Litchfield, Niels Dinshum, and Jamie Ferguson.
The Scottish record holder here in lane 5, Scott Gibson. Been unwell recently, but he looks on decent form here in this 50. Either side of him is Oliver Morgan and Joe Litchfield, and Oliver's come through very strongly in this last 15, and he took that in a 25.66. Second it was Scott Gibson, 25.75, and third, 100 joint first winner last night, Cam Brooker. So I would think they will all be in the final skins final this evening, but we'll wait for that to be confirmed.
I fancy some of the swimmers.
There we go.
Yeah,
there's your 8.
Jack Skerry in that first of the 3 seeded heats, the only one qualifying. The rest dropping down a bit. So
there's your B final at the moment, and then wait to see what happens this afternoon with the slower heats to see if somebody squeezes into that B final, and then there's clearly the junior final as well, but that's all a bit too tricky for us to work out at the moment, so we'll leave that for the clever people with the machinery.
Yeah, you have down in 29th place Dean Fern, a 15-year-old, but I'm pretty certain that time will be good enough to be in a junior final, but there's others in that age group as well in that mix. As Tony says, we'll leave the experts to work that one out.
Indeed.
So it's ladies' turn now. 6 heats ahead of us.
Same drill.
7 are scheduled to go in the very first heat. We have Amy Shields doing backstroke, as we half expect in lane 5. So Angelina Remain in lane 1. Manon Domingson in 2, Charlotte Prince Reina in 3, Annabelle Chan 4, Amy Shields 5, Olivia Butler in 6, Natasha Whittle in lane 7.
So only 0.17 or 1.7 between the entry times of these 7 swimmers. So on paper, this will be very, very close.
Whittle on the far side's going well, Tony.
Yeah, Natasha's having a great start here, Natasha.
Amy Shields coming through perhaps in second, and also on the near side, Romain and Dominson.
But no doubt about the winner of this one, Natasha. Oh, under 30. Wow, that is a good time. that will be pushing her.
That might give her half a chance.
Half a chance in the B final.
Sneaking into a B final.
Given some of the heat swims yesterday in the 100 backstroke for women's, I remember they were quite down on their entries. So that's a great swim from her, giving her a good shout, outside chance of a B final at least. So let's wait to see about that.
Rebecca Reid, Carla Mehuru in 2, Nicole Dupre in 3, Jasmine Eiley 4, Kira Sterica 5, Noah Smith in 6, Emma Scobie 7, and Kiana Kurtzer in 8. Nice to see Emma Scobie at 26 from Kirkintilloch and Kilsyth still competing. This is very much her strength, backstroke. So let's see how she does. We'll have a pretty level start again.
And it's a good start, you can tell. Emma Scobie there is the one that's come out
showing all her experience on that start.
Yeah, virtually getting almost to the 15-metre mark there, Tony.
Yeah, Jasmine Eiley, Bath swimmer, coming through strong as well.
I think Eiley's going to take that, finishing very strongly in lane 6 is Mel Smith.
Jasmine.
And in lane 2, Carla Nahadu snatched second. Jasmine Eiley.
29.82, that's just slightly down on the previous heat, so it's still...
And then Scobie still doing the business, getting third in that heat.
Bad. But still Natasha is setting the pace. So in this next heat, will they go faster? It's Charlie Jones in 1, Zinka Del Commune in 2, Milou van Wijk in 3, Sophie de Groot in 4, Emma Carrasco Cadens in 5, Scarlett Ferris in 6, Hannah Willis in 7, and Florence Tinsley in lane 8. Not quite all under 30 for the entry times, pretty close. Good starts again. Oh, look at that, lane 6. That was a cracking start from Scarlett Ferris, the Stirling University swimmer. On this 50 in particular, that start can make all the difference. You get a couple of metres in that first 15, you're off and running. But she has been drawn back in.
Zinka's going pretty well in 2, tightening up in 4.
And lane 7 coming through as well.
Yeah. Well, Scarlett Ferris just hanging on from lane 4, Sophie de Groot. And fast finishing Hannah Willis almost getting under 30, so 29.85 and 29.88.
Still Natasha.
It's fast, but Natasha certainly looks
good so far. Mary Wood in lane 1 here, Melissa Mainwaring in 2, Sophie Shaw in 3, Kira Toussaint in 4, Ingeborg Leuning in 5, Cora Rooney in 6, Lotte Hosper in 7, and Rebecca Peterson in lane 8. And off they go again. Good start in lane 4. It's first of the circle seeded heats. Kira Toussaint, the Netherlands swimmer, World Championship finalist, 4th as well in the European Championships, and it's Kira Toussaint and Ingeborg Leuning both taking this one out, maybe lane 7 as well. Lotte Hotspur, the Netherlands swimmer, coming back very strong, but it's going to be between Kira and Ingeborg, and it is Toussaint, 28.92, so that's a big shift in time there. That's a fast 28.92. 28.96, 400s behind there in second, Ingeborg, and Lotte Hosper in third.
Kathleen Dawson going in 4 in this one. We have Heidi Ray in 1, Yasmin Hammerlin in 2, Maria Golden in 3, Kathleen Dawson 4, Louise van der Tark in 5, Anis Podavin in 6, Emily Grant 7, Titania Tostavin in lane number 8. In another lane 3 or a lane 6.
Good start again, lane 5. That's Roos van der Todorijk. And the Belgian swimmer has gone to 27.9 recently. She was 3rd at the European Juniors last year, so a really strong young talent here is Roos. And goodness, she's looking strong ahead of Kathleen Dawson, 28.21. That is a very nice swim for her. That's fastest so far. Second, Kathleen Dawson, 28.73. Emily Grant in 3rd, just ahead of Yasmin Hammerlin. So we're into the final heat now. Holly McGill, Hart Midlothian in 1, Molly Garrett in 2, Lika Uda Lenfrink in 3, Kylie Mass in 4, Simona Kubova in 5, Melora Trumpet in 6, Mathilde Muller in 7, and Anna Green in 8. Great race last night in the 100 between Kylie and Simona. I think Simona did edge that one out, I think, if I remember. And Kylie is Commonwealth Games champion and world champion in this 50 backstroke, so kind of got to think she's quite a strong favourite. But she is going to get pushed hard by Simona Kubova, the Czech Republic swimmer, who pushed her last night, and she's showing her again that she's up for it this weekend. Also going well is Lika Uda Lenfrink in lane 3, and I think Simona is going to get edged out by Kylie, and she does. 28.30. What a finish. Kylie was not wanting to get beaten in that one, I don't think. So 28.30 for her, 28.36 for Simona Kubova, and 28.96 for Lika Uda Lenfrink. And you know, I think Natasha Whittle may well be in the A final, but let's. No, she won't. She'll be in the B final, though.
I think she's
gonna be
fastest for the B final.
So there she is.
Yeah, fastest for the B. Yeah,
not bad.
There we go. It's
Good
pretty,
to see
pretty
that.
good to scrape in.
I'll show you.
She's well scraped in. Almost made the final from that first heat.
Yeah, she was good form. She was the slowest entry this morning.
Yeah.
And gets herself probably reasonably safely into the B final, but there will be swims later on this afternoon, and given some of those times, maybe that they'll get challenged this afternoon, but let's just wait to see for that as we move on now to the men's 100 metres breaststroke. And we all know what this means in British swimming. And PT coming up later on. And, but in this first heat, that's the results just come through there. And moving on, we have Lars Verhalle from PSV Eindhoven in 2, Don Bissett, Stirling Union 3, Thomas Hamilton, Birmingham Union 4, Alex Mayer, Stirling Union 5, and Ollie Kettle, University of Bath in 6.
Yeah, Don Bissett back after that IM earlier this morning.
Yep.
One or two of them having a second swim in this event. So 105.10 to 105.46.
This should be close.
Pretty level start, but good kick by Verhalle. That swimmer in lane 2, going well. So we're reaching the halfway mark, and it's advantage with Lars. Also Owen Sick going well. Ollie Kettle, not much between them, 300s in fact. Slightly better turn, I think, there, Tony, from Lars.
Yeah, still pretty close across those two of them.
Yeah.
Ollie's looking strong out there in lane 6. And coming through nicely in 5 is Alex Mayer as well from Stirling Uni, but I think it's maybe now lane 6.
Certainly Kettle that's got the advantage now.
Yeah.
Just pushing on.
Looking really strong all the way through here, and he's going to come in with a good body lengths lead and a nice time, 104.5. So that's a nice improvement by almost a second on his entry time. So Coach Mark is going to be pleased with that one.
Verhalle just hanging on to take second place in that one.
You see the lineup for this second heat. Joshua Mitchell in 1, Edinburgh Uni, 3 Edinburgh Uni swimmers, Charlie Trotman in 2, Liam Davis in 3. And we have a couple of Stirling Uni swimmers, George Smith and Rafe Dobson. Luke Ibsen, Loughborough in 6, Max Vass, Sirius Stoke in 7, and Matthew Garrity in lane 8. Again, tight times coming in, 0.5 between the 8 of them. And pretty even out of the start there, maybe lane 4 showing George Smith. And he went a 102.8 at the recent British Universities meet, so he's nearly a second and a half up on that entry time, and he's showing that form here in this first 50.
Pushing on, isn't he, Tony?
Yeah, looks good. 30.3. So he's got good recent form, so not surprising perhaps to see him pushing this one out. He's not getting away with it though. Lane 6 is looking strong. Luke Iveson from Loughborough Uni is sticking with him. And it's going to be between these two, I think.
Yeah, between them, Alfred Dobson trying to get maybe third place. Certainly Smith looks as though he's done more than enough to take that by about a body length.
So 103.
Takes that in 103.76. Ibsen in second, 104.80, and Liam Davis just snatched third, 106.03 ahead of Dobson.
So that might have him pushing on the door of a B final. Let's see how the rest of this 3 heats, these are circle seeded heats now. So in this one, Nikolai Kuteranskia, Nova Centurion 1, Ben Harrison in 2, Dara Green representing Ireland in 3. In lane 4, Bernhard Reitshammer from Oberoster, Owen Corby from Ireland in 5, Ross Young, Edinburgh Uni in 6, Andrew Feenan, Limerick National Centre in 7, and Conor Massey, University of Aberdeen Performance. Bernhard Reitshammer.
Cracking start there, Tony.
Yeah, looking very, very good.
Already taken almost a body length out of the field, and looks to be moving further and further away as we reach the halfway mark. He's gone extremely fast.
Yeah, he looks good.
28.05. Looking extremely comfortable. Corby, the Irishman, in 5. And Dara Green, teammate either side. It's all about who's going to get second. Certainly not going to catch Reitshammer now. Well clear.
Looking very smooth. Working hard all the way here, isn't he?
Can he get under the minute mark? Going to be pretty close to that.
Very close.
1:00.40. Green 1:02.35 and Corby at 1:03.07.
That's a really good heat swim there for Bernhard, sort of setting down a standard for the guys to follow.
That should give pretty good chance for George Smith in that previous race, perhaps to maybe also sneak into a final,
Indeed.
B final.
So in this 4th heat, Yusuf Betu in 1, Bram Zwiedsloot, Netherlands in 2, Sam Neild, Birmingham University in 3, James Wilby, Loughborough Uni in 4, Archie Goodburn, Edinburgh University in 5, Callum Melville, Nova Centurion in 6, William Ellington, Stirling Uni in 7, and Andrew Arthur, Stirling University in 8. So Commonwealth Games champion here in lane 4, James Wilby. Got Sam Neild on one side of him, and Archie Goodburn on the other. Also Commonwealth in that final with James Wilby.
This looks going well, though in lane 2, Tony's maybe half a metre clear.
And he is going to turn first, 28.62. See whether he can hang on here, and he's looking very strong, isn't he, Bram?
Wilby still looks good in lane 4, now coming through to challenge. In fact, Wilby might just have eased into the front. Archie Goodburn and Sam Neild with what to do to try and get into that final this evening. No doubt Wilby's going to take that second, Zwiedsloot, and Goodburn in 3rd place.
So yeah, that should, top 3 I think would get in, but it really does depend how much on form the next heat goes, and it's got some quality swimmers in it as well. So Rory Dixon, lane 1, as you can see there, Stirling Uni, 2 Netherlands swimmers, Luca Janssen and Ivo Cruz in 2 and 3, Adam Peaty, Loughborough in 4, Greg Butler and Loughborough in 5, Eugene Cook, Ireland in 6, Charles Grondinel in lane 7, and James McFadgen in lane 8. And James isn't swimming, so just 7 in this heat.
Yeah, Olympic champion in this one. What will we get from Peaty in the heats?
Swam the 200 heat yesterday. Looked pretty strong actually. He doesn't do a 200 very often, but he was fighting right to the end on that heat of the 200, and he's gone out hard here. Ivo Cruz on his inside and Greg Butler, his Loughborough Uni compatriot. And it's Adam Peaty, 27.91. So that's over half a second up on the time of James Wilby. So he's certainly going for it in the heat this morning. Interesting to see if he does stay for the final this evening as well. Greg Butler and Ivo Cruz having a good battle here for seconds.
all about Petey in this one, Tony.
Yeah. As he comes in under the flag, he's got about a body length up on these guys. Is he going to get under the minute?
Nope.
1:07.6. So it's just behind
Well,
Bernhard Rieshammer.
yeah. So it will be Rieshammer who has lane number 4.
Yeah.
Petey will be, I think, in lane 5. And on the other side, it will be. So
It's not a bad final, is it?
Not a bad one.
So there's your finalists. Rieshammer through to Luca Janssen. Good international feel to that one. Ireland, Netherlands. There's your B final.
It's not a bad B final.
It's not bad at all, is it? Commonwealth Games finalists in the B final. That's a good sign of a meet. And there we go through beyond that. Some of these guys, again, as we've mentioned before, will be vying for junior.
Yeah, Callum Melville.
Yeah.
Anglo-Scot, Nova
Scottish
Centurion.
junior record holder in this event.
Yep. So he'll get a swim. I'm almost certain.
Definitely won the 200 last night. I think still in really heavy training at the moment, Callum. So not looking at times this weekend. He'll be aiming for the trials, wanting to get into at least European junior teams and other events that are going on in the summer. So keep your eyes open for him when we move to Sheffield.
So these swimmers are the Isabel Wood in 2, Orla McInnes 3, Ailey Robertson 4, Grace Conroy 5, Becky Watson in 6. So 3 of these are juniors, 16-year-olds, Orla McInnes in 3, Ailey Robertson 4, and Becky Watson, Burra Stockton, goes in lane 6. So they'll be trying to improve those times if they can, so they're in a junior final this evening.
Yep.
The advantage is probably just Grace Courtney, 29.67.
The 3 in the centre entered on exactly the same times, so should be pretty close. But there's Grace Conroy, the Repton swimmer.
Other side, Becky Watson going pretty well in 6, and Ailey Robertson with Orla McInnes. Orla McInnes now in the latter stages, coming through very strongly indeed. It's very tight. It's Courtney and McInnes. Wow, 200s in it, 1:04.69. No, that's a very strong finish from Orla, but not quite getting the arms over to take that. It's just hanging on there, 1:04.69.
Good finish though from Orla.
So that give her every chance of a swim later this evening.
You'd think so, but we'll have to wait until the end of the afternoon's events. And we have in this heat Manon Dominguez from League Aura in 1, Holly Marshall, Repton in 2, Belle Smith, University of Bath in 3, Hetty Damassa, Repton in 4, Lydia Parker from University of Bath in 5, Ea Ko from Deventio in 6, Jana van Kooten, Netherlands in 7, and Abigail Stemp, Edinburgh Uni in lane 8.
Jana going well in 7, half a metre clear. Won it very strongly indeed there, Tony.
She's looking good.
In lane 1, so well there.
29.41, so that's slightly faster than the previous heat. Manon Dominguez. Not a lot between them though, really, is there? Yeah, lane 1 and 7.
Lane 1 going probably best down the final stretch.
Very close, isn't it, between lanes 1 and 7? Quite hard when you're that far apart. And who's going to edge it? Does look like lane 1, I think.
Yeah.
But all on the wall, and it is
1:74 perhaps. That's it. Yeah. Doing young. 1:02.79.
1.5 second improvement.
Very good swim, very strong swim from that outside lane. Jana van Kooten, 1:03.31, and Hetty Damassa in 3rd place.
Been some good swims from the Ligora team this weekend. Looks like they've prepared well. And we're moving into the first of the circle seeded heats. So Matilda Möller in 1, Laura Cabanes Garçaz in 2, Yasmin Perry in 3, Kiana McInnes in 4, Anastasia Gorbenko in 5, Emily Large in 6, Maisie Elliott in 7, and in 8, Stella Mercado.
Well, Yas Perry and Kiana McInnes pretty well together. Yas Perry has been, even on the freestyle events, been doing butterfly, so she's. We want to see how she gets on at this meet.
Very well by the looks of it.
Going it very strongly. Both her and Kiana almost together. 27.66 for Kiana. 28.02. So a strong start by both girls. And this is where Kiana's getting to work again and just beginning to pull away. It's extremely strong down the final stretch.
She got second in the 200 last night.
And she's going to take this one pretty comfortably indeed. Entry time of 58.55.
That's a good time.
And very strong. Yes, Perry failing to get into the minute. Just over a minute on that one, but I'm pretty sure, having beaten Emily Large, will be good enough to get into the A final. Emily Large on a 1:00:89 will be
there or thereabouts, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's a good swim from Kiana. That's only half a second over her entry time, her PB. So that's she swam at European Championships last year. So that's a good morning heat swim for Kiana. Katarina Price in lane 1, University of Bath. Hoofstatens, Regietgaard in 2, Georgina Pryor, Deventio in 3, Bruce van der Dordijk from Belgium in 4, Kim Bush, Netherlands in 5, Jessica Calderbank, Manchester in 6, Kiara Morris, Stirling University in 7, and Drew McKenzie in lane 8.
Strong start in the middle lanes again.
Van Dordijk and Kim Bush. Kim Bush was in the 50 final last night. Definitely got through to the round of 4 in that.
She's looking strong in this one, Tony.
Skipping over the water, isn't she?
Going a little bit slower in that first 25, but then picked it up quite significantly. 27.23. That's much faster than that previous heat.
Yeah. Very fast tempo, high stroke, almost floating across the top, contrasting with Ruth van Otterdijk in 4, and Ruth is coming back as they approach the flags, and her stamina is coming through here, and it is going to be Ruth who times that perfectly. 59.32, so slightly down on Kiana's time. 59.01, sorry, so that is just slightly faster, and then Kim Bush is slightly down in 59.32. Jessica Calderbank.
Yeah. You would, if you're watching that a bit close to the finish, she didn't really nail the finish that well. Glided in, didn't have enough time to get another stroke in, so she probably lost maybe half a second there, Tony. Still
good
pretty
though
tough
in that second half of the race.
So on to the final heat. Ellie McCartney, Ireland in 1. Ciara Slosson, Edinburgh University in 2. Lily Rose Berthault from Aura, France in 4. Louise Hansen, Loughborough University. 5. Holly Hibbert, University of Bath. 6. Lucy Grieve from Stirling Uni. 7. Elise Stannis from the Netherlands, and Guy Alcaraz goes in 8 from Aberdeen Performance.
Great start from Louise Hansen. She was already almost a body length ahead at the dive. She's Lily Rose Berthault, French swimmer. It's coming back a little bit on that latter half, and she gets second, but it's 27.35 there, so just slightly down on the first 50 of Kim Bush in the previous heat.
At the moment, Lily Rose looks good for second, but Ciara Slosson trying to stick with her. That's probably going to be the 1, 2, 3. Lucy Grieve in 4. And Louise Hansen has this pretty well wrapped up. Lucy Grieve finishing like a train, gets third perhaps. Just. Lily Rose Bernhardt 59.51, and a strong finish from Lucy Grieve, the ex-South Ayrshire swimmer now at Stirling Uni, 59.98, nailed that perfectly to get third, and will certainly get her, I'm sure, in the A final.
So that's
Ciara Slosson probably also in that final.
about to find out. There you go.
And Jazz Perry scrapes in the outside lane, 1:00:13.
Very good. So it's a Swede, Belgian, Scot, and a Dutch person in the first four in that one. So nicely international. That's the B final. Emily Large just getting squeezed out that A final. And,
a bit further down the field, you might find, if you're looking at the caption, some of the juniors. I know that Orla McInnes, Stella McCarty will certainly be there or thereabouts. They're their 30th, but you've got to be pretty good at 100 butterfly to get into this morning session. Ellie Robertson, 107.21. That might put her in a borderline position.
Yep.
I think we've got the British record holder, Scott Fleming, in this one. 200 butterfly with James Bartley in lane 2. Scott Fleming, East Kilbride in 3. James Bartley from Stirling University. Alice Nove in lane number 4 from Denmark. In 5, Kieran Lennox, Aberdeen Performance, and Gabrielle Emedenko from Hovenstadt in lane number 6. So 207s to 209s, the range in this one. They start by Kieran Lennox. Also well there is Noah in lane 4. All the guys are just taking it out pretty steady the first 50, not blasting it.
Easy to get your pacing wrong on this event.
27.70 after the first 50. Just over a second between the 05.
Yeah, so the fastest qualifier, the Dane Elias No, 19. Kieran Lennox, Aberdeen swimmer in lane 5, looking good as well.
We nearly have an arrow formation as well, Tony. That's how it should be on the seeds. Outside lanes a little bit further back. That's what we have at halfway. No, Lennox and Fleming. Just over the minute at the halfway mark. And Scott Fleming now coming through very strongly in 3 to challenge.
Yep. Second at national age groups last spring. So almost touched out Stefan Kravitz in that, but he's looking really good on this. He's paced this one really well, hasn't he?
Yeah, East Kilbride lad going really very strongly now over on the far side. Still hanging in there. Men go from Hovenstadt at half a second in it. Still all to play for. Scott Fleming with a wee bit to do, but he's still looking good.
But Elias is coming back, isn't he? As is Gabrielle Emedib, another Danish swimmer. So it's going to be Scott, I think, although out there in lane 6, Gabrielle Emedib is coming back strong, but I think it's going to be Scott. 2:8.79.
Yeah, nice swim from Scott. It's
good
very much on his entry time.
Over, so that's a nicely paced heat.
We'll be in hard training like a lot of these lads, so that's a very respectable time for the first 3 home.
So moving on to heat 2. In this one we have Yarden Jan from Israel junior national team, Aite Rosenfeld from Israel junior team in 2, Francisco Arvalo Rubio from Spain in 3, Andreas Vasios from Greece in 4, Thomas Janssen, Netherlands in 5, Igor Suvalov, Edinburgh Union 6, Callum Rose, Edinburgh Union 7, and Peter Allen, Stirling University in lane 8. Already seen Thomas Janssen have a very strong 400 IM this morning. Andreas Vasios has won this event last year, second at the Mediterranean Games, so he's got good form as well. And let's see how this race unfolds. And it's Andreas Vasios, Thomas Janssen and Francisco Arvelo Rubio taking this one out on this first 50. And it is the Spaniard who touches on that one. 27.08. Slightly up on the previous heat, but I suspect these guys will sustain this pace and faster for longer. It's hard to get this one right. You can very quickly get in the wrong groove, either too fast or too slow on a 200 fly, and either one of them isn't a very great place to be. Good second 50 there from Thomas Janssen, turning in a 58.17.
Very much faster than that previous heat. Of
Yep.
course, this is the first of the 3 seeded heats. And as you virtually have almost the arrow formation in this one. Vasios still going pretty well, but Rubio on his shoulder now.
And
Janssen with a wee bit to do to try and close that gap now.
yeah.
129.69, and Rubio now just beginning to pull away here.
Yeah, it's a good swim here from Andreas and Francisco. I think it's going to be Andreas who takes this one. And he's coming in strong to the wall. A nice steady heat swim for him. And he comes in a 2:02.13.
Yeah. Nice swim from the Spaniard there.
Second, yeah, Francisco, and third, Thomas Janssen.
Yeah. So 2:02s. Certainly fancy them to be in that A final with those.
I think so.
The Spaniards in this one. Another very cosmopolitan race, this one. Tom Robinson in lane 1, Aberdeen Dolphins. To Angela Lamina from Villafranche. 3, Yavik Halig from Israel. 2 Spanish swimmers in the middle lanes. Abideo Gonzalez Riz. Miguel Martinez Novoa in 5. Tom Sampson of Borough in 6. Daniel Gravchov, Israel in 7. Jay Manners, Derwent side, goes in 8. Again, the middle lanes, as expect, very much to the fore. 2 Spaniards, they're out pretty strongly. Not much between the two of them. Might be just the lane 4.
27.4. So
27.40, but a little between them. You always think that the 2 guys in the middle lanes, they know what they've got to do to make the final. Just keep an eye on one another and what's either side of them.
Yep.
And, that's almost what the 2 of them are doing at the moment. Both of them sub 2 minutes. The rest of the field all over the 2-minute mark. So 58.05, 58.62, like 59.54. And again, that nice arrow formation developed as we come down towards the 150 mark.
So Yahav Haleg is the junior swimmer, and he's swimming really well in lane 3, the Israeli junior national.
That's Novoa from Alvarez, 129.41. Very similar to the previous split. And you certainly expect both these guys comfortably be in the final, well clear of the rest of the field.
Yep.
Halig going well, and that third place probably will be hopefully good enough for him to get a lane maybe on the outside for this evening. So let's see, it's going to be just over the 2 minutes mark, pretty similar to the previous one, but a fraction faster. 2:00.97 for Novoa. Alvarez 2:02.57. Halig 2:05.07. That will give him every chance of getting into this evening's final.
Okay, we're on to the final heat. Brogan McAviney in 1, National Centre in Limerick. Cole Hewitt, City of Sheffield in 2. Oliver Sugard Anderson from Hoofstatten in 3. Duncan Scott, Stirling University in 4. Tom Bealey, University of Aberdeen in 5. 6 we have Andrew Bertoli, Stirling University. Ben Chewan, Edinburgh Uni in 7. And Josh Press, Stirling University in 8. Duncan Scott.
Be interested to see how Bertoli does in this one, Tony. Whether he can get pretty close to that entry time of 2:02 and maybe make one of the final positions this evening. But, you'd fancy Duncan to really motor in this one.
Yeah, he had a slow, relatively for him, 200 freestyle heat yesterday morning, but he's looking like he's going out with intent on this 200 fly.
Also nice to see Tom Bealey still giving everything on butterfly. And Duncan Scott 26.40, much faster than we've seen so far, Tony.
Yeah, definitely taking Tom Bealey with him. Pretty close though, across 1, 2, 3 and 6. So Brogan, Cole and Andrew Bertoli, as you were mentioning earlier. And they are clear. 57.0. And there's about a second up on the previous heat, so it's a good strong start there.
Bealey going well in second. If he can keep this going, might also get under the 2-minute mark.
Yep.
And it could be Scott and Bealey in the 2 middle lanes for this evening. The rest of the field are really just swimming to try and get into a final here.
Yep.
Bealey's really giving it everything. Duncan probably just easing back a wee bit now. 1:30. Well, Duncan may be thinking, right, let's see if which lane do I want to be in for the final. It might be lane 2.
Yeah, I think he's given himself a heavy schedule this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
and then, as I said, Bertoli flying at the end.
yeah, it does come back strong, Andrew. And he's shown that form here again. So he's going to 2:02 for Tom.
Well, I think Duncan Scott will be maybe in lane 2 or lane 6 with that time. And Bertoli, well, Bertoli might sneak in.
I think he will.
It's going to be a borderline for Bertoli there.
Let's see how this pans out.
I think the two Spaniards are 1 and 2 here.
There we go.
Well, no, 1, 3. Yeah, Duncan Scott will actually be in an outside lane as he was last night
yesterday, yeah.
in the freestyle. Andrew Bertoli just misses out. But a decent swim. I'll be pleased with that. I'm sure Bertoli getting into Callum Rose at the moment, the outside lane. So 2:09.5 is the target for the swimmers this afternoon to try and get into a final. So that's the 29 swimmers that swam that one. We move on to a bit more distance. It's 400 metres individual medley. 4 heats. This very much a UK-based one, this one. Zara Kravitz, the youngster from East Lothian swim team, goes in 1. 2, Isabel Wood from Stirling Swim in 2. Sarah Keegan, Aberdeen Performance 3. Lily Jackson-Oates from Nova Centurion in 4. Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow in 5. Emily Maxwell, Derwentside in 6. And Morven Adams, Dundee City Aquatics, goes in 7. Lovely to see Morven Adams at 22, still training with our local club, Dundee City Aquatics. You'll see it over on the far side in that distinct pink cap. And it wouldn't surprise me if she might even sneak this one. Done it very well in the early stages. Zara Keegan going well in lane 3, as is Emily Maxwell in 6. All pretty close on entry times, 5:09 through to 5:14.
Not very close on age. We've got 22 through to 14 in this one, so it's quite a 8-year difference between Morven and Zara.
It's only a number though, age.
It is indeed. And there's Morven in lane 7 and Zara Keegan.
It's age before beauty. It's 22, but it's actually 21 and 22. So we're nearly 22, 21. Zara just 18 hundredths ahead at the butterfly section.
Good swim so far. She's really stretching out here. It's still pretty close with the rest of the field, which suggests that this could go any way. See what happens at the end of the backstroke. But really only a body length between the remaining 6 swimmers.
Morven Adams going really well in that backstroke section, as is Emily Maxwell. She's made a move. One clear second, and Morven 2 and a bit seconds clear. So Morven still with a commanding advantage.
Got an inverted arrow here.
Indeed.
Doesn't happen very often.
Doesn't happen. Well, it's yeah.
But that will, I suspect, all change as we move into the breaststroke. Zara's come through well on the backstroke here. She's up into, and she's got a strong breaststroker, so she'll.
Zara Kravitz. It's the 2 extremes, the 22 and the 14-year-old, separated by a second. Look for Isabel Wood in 2 to come through strongly, and in lane 5, Amy McLeod, really very efficient breaststroker. Lily Jackson Oates in 4, also making a move, and this is where the breaststroke sorts out the ladies from the girls.
Indeed. Although it seems to be making them all pretty even at the moment. Let's see where we are at the end of this. It's now
Centurion
5 of them
coming through very strongly. Morven Adams might actually be overhauled very, very shortly. 600ths in it. But you can see that 41.06 against the 45.44. Amy McLeod still going well in lane 5. She needs to just try and stick with Lily here. Morven Adams has got to pull something pretty strong out in this second half of the breaststroke.
Very dominant breaststroke here, isn't it? This is going to be about a 7-second turnaround in the space of 100 metres.
And that arrow formation sort of changed a wee bit, Tony.
Yeah, it's completely different now.
Well, that's what a good breaststroke does. A 42.75. She's taken about another half a second from Amy McLeod there.
Yeah, she was 8 seconds behind Morven Adams when she started that breaststroke, and she's now 4 behind and now 4 ahead. So that's what breaststroke does in this IM.
Amy McLeod very strong on breaststroke, but her freestyle is not the strongest of her 4 sections, so she'll do well probably to hang on to second place. As Emily Maxwell is moving very strongly in the latter stages, still got a lot to do to try and close down, as is Zara Kravitz. Lily's still going very well indeed. Zara Kravitz, you might fancy, might sneak in here and get second.
Yeah. I expect her to be in a junior final, you'd think.
Yeah.
Pretty good for the 14-year-olds. It's a 17 and under age group.
Nice swim from Lily. 1:12.32. Zara takes second. Did I say 1:12? I think I did 5:12.32, 5:15.04. Was that it? And Liam McLeod 5:16.63.
Nice swimming. So
all about the
3 juniors in there, so they'll
Yeah.
have set the standard for the swimmers later on. There's another couple of juniors to come in these 2 or 3 juniors in the next few heats. So let's see how that develops. Moving into this second heat, Isabella Willard from Millfield, Coco Croxford, Stirling Swim in 2, Olivia Kingsland, Nova Centurion in 3, Megan Byrne from University of Bath in 4, Meryl Shavendijk from Netherlands in 5, Lucy Hitchin, Repton in 6, her teammate Holly Robinson in 7, and Evie O'Halloran Hutchison, Derwent side in 8.
Coco Croxford, I would think the Stirling girl will be in the mix at the first section of butterfly. Got it pretty well. Megan Byrne in 4, going probably best at the moment. Tony, the first part is really get yourself into a nice rhythm in that butterfly. Don't
overdo it. Yep. Unless you're only good at flying back and haven't got a breaststroke, you've then got to just work out whether you've just got to go for broke. But if you've got half decent fly, you really just want to try and keep strong and steady. And they all look like they are doing that, strong and steady. Megan Byrne, 23-year-old from University of Bath. Was finalist at the recent Bucks meet. Coco second in national age groups in this event, and also second at the Scottish Summer Meet. Represented Scotland at the Geneva International Meet in February. Made a final there too. Junior national squad member. And those two are starting to stretch a little bit, maybe out there in lane 6. Lucy Hitchin from Repton as well.
Yeah, Coco pretty steady on all the strokes. I wouldn't say that she's got one that's massively better than the rest. So you'd expect her to be there or thereabouts in the mix, and those 3 girls just beginning to pull away from the rest of the field. Roughly 3 seconds cover the whole field. Possibly just being overtaken by Lucy Hitchin in lane 6. That's the key section of breaststroke, where we can have big difference as we had that previous heat with Lily coming through very strongly to really dominate. So 2.5 seconds between the 3 girls.
See how this breaststroke evolves.
And all 3 girls probably similar pace, or not really pulling away or closing on one another, whereas the rest of the field are beginning to try and close that back if they can. Holly Robinson over in 7, and Isabel Woodward in 1. Certainly lane 7, Holly Robinson is flying. 44 for Megan, 46 and 46 for Lucy, but Holly's taken 3 seconds or so out of that.
So she's really coming through strong, as you can see on that pacing. If she can keep that up, she will draw level with Megan Byrne at the end of this breaststroke leg. That's a good shot there. You can see the leader and Robinson, who is reeling her in. Well, Robinson's just to the left of that screen, I think, actually.
Yep.
And she's just going to emerge as the cameraman catches her up. And there we go, as they come into the red, almost even.
Couple of seconds, barely in it.
Yeah.
It's still on. If she can pull something special, Holly, but she's really got to pull something out the bag now. I don't think Megan's going to give this one up now.
No, but she's got herself into second, Holly, and looks like she's got such a lead there. It's going to be very difficult for Lucy and Merrill to catch her up. And down in the bottom of your screen there, there's a strong race going on between Isabella, Coco and Livia.
Looks like Coco's just going to get swallowed up in the latter stages. Probably gone out and tried her hardest in the early stage and maybe just beginning to suffer for it. But Megan Byrne still maintains a nice health advantage, coming down with about 15 to go. 5:01.18 is her entry times. It's going to be maybe just a shade over that.
Good heat swim though.
Very nice swim. 5:02.21. Ollie Mortensen. She'll be pleased with that. 5:04.02.
Improvement on her entry there for Holly, so nicely swum.
Ravindra, 5:10.99 comes in and gets the third place. And for the likes of Coco Cotsford on a 5:12.67. Junior final will be what she'll
should be within reach.
Later. Yeah. So our third heat is the first of the two seeded heats. Holly McGill, Heart of Midlothian in 1. Ethan Morris in 2 from Nova Centurion. 3, Ellen Wish from Ireland. 4, Freya Colbert, Loughborough University. Our teammate Lily Booker goes in 5. In 6, Lottie Huspa from the Netherlands. In 7, Filia Nurenker from Hovenstadt. In 8 is Eleanor Bohm from Ripton. So lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6 off pretty strongly. Lottie Huspa possibly just hit the wall first. She's got half a body length of the other 3. 29.62. Colbert, Booker and Walsh all pretty close. Kate Morris a little bit further back in lane 2. And Walsh in 3 just ahead of Colbert and Booker for that second, third and fourth as we've reached the end of the butterfly. Huspa has had a good start. 1:03.57.
Dutch champion Lotte. Just behind her, Freya Colbert, who took that bronze medal at European Championships last year. Great swim there. And just missed out on a medal at the Commonwealth Games. She's had a good 2022, podium potential squad member. And it's just slowly catching up, Lotte. In between them, Lily Booker a little bit way back, and Ellen Walsh from Ireland had some. You will expect her to come through in this backstroke. She was in the afternoon heats yesterday and came through to end up winning the B final with a massive improvement on her entry time. So she's having a really good meet, and not surprisingly, coming back strongly on this backstroke, Ellen. And it's going to be relatively level, maybe Freya just ahead of Lily. Ellen tapping at the door.
Lily Booker in fourth. She'll just want to make sure that she pushes on in the breaststroke to ensure she gets into the C final this evening. Those 4 well clear. 2:16.57 at halfway. Lily Booker in fourth is probably 5, 6, 7 metres clear of the 5th base swimmer. Just closing a little bit on Osper in lane 6. Colbert and Walsh 1 and 2 at the moment. Lily Booker now beginning to just close and maybe shortly will get into third place.
Still pretty close though. I think Freya will more than likely be swimming within herself. I think she's fairly confident she'll make this final as long as she wins this heat, and I suspect that's mainly what she's after. Give her a chance to come again in the final this evening. But Ellen has taken the opportunity here of a good race with a very world-class swimmer in Freya Colbert, and the Irish swimmer is coming through, and she's going to touch just ahead, I think, in a 3:39.92.
Booker's done enough on that breaststroke section to move comfortably into third, and I don't think she'll push it too much. Freya Colbert, as you can see from your caption, just doing enough, almost treating it like a swim down.
Not to take away from Ellen, I think Ellen's going to be under her entry time, I think, with a 33 split there, likely 32, so she's going to be in the 4:35, and that's 4:45, which will be nicely under her entry time, so she's continuing her good form in this meet. Freya just trying to maybe look and see whether she's just going to keep up with it, but no, I think Ellen's going to hold on to take this one, and coming in under the flags, and she's going to be in the 4:46.78, so that is an improvement on her entry time. Nice swim there from...
Still look pretty comfortable, as did both girls.
Yeah. So that's setting the standard for this next heat. They know exactly what they need to do to get themselves in a final.
Big gap between fourth and fifth place in that heat.
Yeah, so
10
really
seconds. So you
get yourself in that low 450s, and you're more than likely getting in that A final. But there's a B final, so I think they'll all know they've got a very good chance for that. In this final heat, we have Karen Eisbruch from Israel in 1, Michaela Glenster, Stirling Union 2, Paula Chus Sanchez from Spain in 3, Katie Shanahan, Stirling University in 4, Alba Vasquez Ruiz from Spain in 5, Ombra Franconet from Belgium in 6, Paula Adams, University of Aberdeen in 7, and Holly Marshall, Repton in lane 8.
So all these entries, other than Holly Marshall, under the 5-minute mark, and they'll have to move to guarantee a place in the final. We'll know what they're going to achieve. Sub 4:55.
Yep.
A strong start at the moment. Paula Sanchez, Spanish swimmer in 3. Katie Shanahan in 4, and in 5, Alba Vasquez Ruiz, another Spaniard. So Katie Shanahan between the two Spanish girls.
Of course, our Commonwealth Games medalist set everything off really well in Birmingham with her bronze medal. Great. Got the momentum going, I think, for the team. Alba in lane 5, Spanish champion. Was also a finalist at the European Championships last year, as was Katie Shanahan.
I expect Katie potentially to get into the lead here. Very, very strong all round on all 4 disciplines, but maybe the backstroke is strongest of the 4. But it's a question of maybe just doing enough to get into the final for the Spanish girls.
Yeah, so lane 3 though. Paula Chus Sanchez, the on entry, the slower of the 2 Spaniards, and was a finalist at the Mediterranean Games. Got a lot of swimmers here, Greece, Cyprus, Spain, who were competing in those games. Her teammate Alba was a medalist in that, got a bronze medal. And the three of them are, with Katie Shanathan, those two are just edging ahead, maybe lane 6 here. Amber Franconet, the Belgian international. In the Flanders Championships last year. But it's still the two Spaniards and Katie Shanahan.
Katie Shannon didn't really look as though she was doing very much there, Tony. It's quite embarrassing just how easy it looks.
Here we go. Just making sure.
Katie's breaststroke's always been pretty steady.
As you say, it's not really a weakness in her IM skills, is there?
If anything, her butterfly is probably our worst stroke,
yeah.
But it's still a very, very strong and competent stroke. You know, even as a youngster, was a finalist, at 200 butterfly.
Yeah.
So medaling at juniors at that, so no slouch.
No, swimming it like a real pro, which she is, but she's still only 19. I tend to forget that she's she has been seemingly been around for so long at such a high level, really broken through in the last couple of years at European juniors and now Commonwealth Games. Got the experience of the ISL as well, which I suspect will have done her lots and lots of good. Moved into the university setup and is thriving there as well. Made that transition look absolutely seamless. But it's Alba Vaquez Ruiz who is just edging ahead after the breaststroke. I think both of these girls swimming well within themselves. Slightly down on the previous heat, but I think they know what they've got to do. And
yeah, both of them know that they're going to be in the final.
Yep.
The question of whether Paula Sanchez pushes it too much. I think she's looks pretty good as well for the final. It's a question of who's going to get fourth. Michaela Glenister and Amber Franconet. So really between them, I think, for the final place,
yep,
perhaps.
It could be a race off for getting in the final. And it's very close between the two, and maybe just... It's Amber Franconet who's just edging ahead of Michaela, but we'll see. And it's going to be, who's going to get the touch here? Katie Shanahan, I think. 4:48.92.
300s in it. Michaela Glenister just gets fourth.
It's going to be tight.
And she will be the last one into the final.
Yep.
Amber will be in the B final. I think one further swimmer to come in. Jebruch finishes. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Shannon Ruiz and Sanchez. And Michaela Glenister by less than a quarter of a second, I'm certain, gets the final place. There we have it. That's your provisional final for this evening. I can't see there be anyone challenging those. There is a slim chance somebody might sneak into a B final. 5:07.11 is the target for them.
5:10.
Lots up for grabs for the juniors.
Yeah, I think the fastest time this afternoon entry time is around about a 5:14 or something. So they'll have to go some, but you never know. You never know.
You never know. Yeah, indeed. So we're back to the other end of the pool for the second half of our 50s.
Splash and dash.
Yep.
And this is the real splash and dash. This is the men's 50 freestyle. Fastest swimmers in the pool all weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking further down to see a couple of veterans, David Cumberledge, Edinburgh University, and the Irishman Callum Bain, go in the second of those heats, along with James Guy.
Yep.
Almost good enough for a final in itself, Tony.
Yeah, it's a good field. Missing Ben Proud this year. Ben's come often to this meet. He's got the meet record 21.72, which is quite spectacular. But even without Ben, we've got about a dozen people under 23 seconds, which is
amazing. Yeah.
no great shakes. It's unbelievable. In this first heat, Ben Blowers, Loughborough University, Sam Winston, National Centre of Limerick, and Adam Marana from the Israeli junior national team. And Ben entry times 23.8 to 23.8, 23.4 to 23.87. So on paper, 0.04 of a second between these guys. Ben won the British Championships last year, and he won this as well. Just gets that, 23.88. So bang on his entry time, identical time to his entry time. So on form there for Ben. Heat 2, Dean Ahmed in 2, Lars Verhala in 3, Gregor Swinney in 4, Jack Skerry in 5, Finn McGeever in 6, and John Short in 7. So I don't think Finn McGeever is actually swimming this weekend, so he's not in lane 6. So only 5 swimmers.
It was confusing when you got swimmers standing behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have 5.
So fastest in here is Gregor Swinney, Scottish 50 fly record holder. Gregor really came through strong last year in Commonwealth Games year, timed it perfectly. If you're going to get the perfect timing on this 50 front crawl, it's going to be very close between him and Jack Skerry. I think it's Gregor does get it. Yeah, he does. 23.86, so just 2 100s faster than the previous heat. 23.89, 300s behind him, Dean Ahmed and Lars Verhala there, 23.94.
Very interesting, his mum's in the other lane. Officiating
yes.
in lane 5, so she would get a good view of him coming in.
Giving the nod at the end of that.
Yep.
Heat 3, Near Hay in 1, Moritz Dietrich in 2, Brian Leong in 3, Tom Exel in 4, Marcos Iacovides in 5, Henry Baker in 6, Cesar Castro Vale in 7, and Sam Neild in lane 8. Marcos won the British Championships last year, also swam Commonwealth Games for Cyprus. He's in lane 5, Bath Uni swimmer.
Well, let's pick a winner here.
Yeah, lane 4.
Lane 3 and 4 going well.
So it could be Brian Leong or Tom Exel. Brian Leong, I think, is going to get this one.
3, 4, 6.
And he is 23.49. 23.61 second, and Henry Baker third, 23.80. Well, look at that. 23.81, 23.82, 23.83. That's close.
If I just give you the 3 lanes and you give the name story.
Teamwork, Robert.
Yep.
So here we go here. Bruni Kempster, lane 1, Jamie Ingram in 2, Jack McMillan in 3, Thomas Piron in 4, Alex Cahoon in 5, Yanis Dutel in 6, Dermot Sutton in 7, and Stan Franks in lane 8. Lane 3, actually, Jack McMillan isn't swimming. He good 200 last night, but he's decided to
enough is enough.
Pass on the 50. So he's centre lanes. We've got Thomas Piron now then. He's a French swimmer, strong pedigree in sprint freestyle France. He's carrying this through, and is Thomas, I think, who's got a nice lead on here. In second.
4.52.
And that was pretty close. So 22.87. So first 22 that we've seen. 23.07, Alex Cahoon and Jamie Ingram, 23.3. Moving on to the penultimate heat, we have Thomas Carswell in 1, James Guy in 2, David Cumberledge in 3, Callum Payne in 4, Martin Cartavi in 5, Sean Nievold in 6, Evan Bailey in 7, and Casper Pugard in lane 8. Here we go. Callum Bain, the fastest in this heat. And here's
Bain
Callum.
off to a good start.
Yeah, lane 3, David Cumberledge had a Injury hit year last year, David Cumberledge, but he's absolutely knuckled down. He's come back into it. Lane 6 going strong as well. Sean Nievold from the Netherlands, and it might be Sean or David Cumberledge, and it's David Cumberledge who takes that.
You would see James Guy swimming that butterfly. Now, if you're wondering why he gets away with that, it's freestyle. As long as you dive in, you can do any stroke you wish.
Yeah, not bad, 24.35. But it's David Cumberledge, good swim there for him. Just slightly down on Thomas Piron from the previous heat. And we're into this final heat now. And in this we have Oliver Sugard Anderson in 1, Louis Picochet in 2, Simon Bucher in 3, Tom Fannin in 4, Nikita Bays in 5, Jacob Whittle in 6, Tom Dean in 7, and Rory McKinnon in lane 8. Not usual to see Tom Dean in a 50, but he swam it last year. He won the skins last year, I think, didn't he? He was a consistently fast 50 freestyler. And
he'll certainly be keen to get into this final.
You'd
after,
think so. You'd think
winning
so.
the 200 last night.
Yeah, and he's up there as well. But it's Nikita Bays who's also going strong in lane 4. Tom Fannin, and I think it's Tom, Nikita, and Tom Dean who have got this one at the moment. And it's a really strong swim from Tom Fannin, 22.65. So that is the fastest of the day so far before the finals. 22.76 for Nikita, 23.07 for Tom Dean. So I think he's just going to edge it in, maybe.
He'll maybe scrape in that.
Maybe 7th or 8th. We'll find out. He does.
Just
joint 6th. And Martin Carter. So we have. That's the finalists. Unlikely to get threatened this afternoon, I would say. Likewise in the B final. Now we have Callum Bain through to Tom Exel.
Interesting, Bain not making a final.
Only just missing out, but he misses out.
Yeah.
And no juniors. So a couple of juniors this morning. John Short from Limerick, Nir Hay from Israel, and Casper Pugard and Evan Bailey. So a few juniors who may not be showing in the top 16, but are likely, you'd have to say, be in a junior final later on with a few spaces available. So we're moving on to the next 50, slightly less splash and dash, but still pretty fast. It's the women's 50 breaststroke.
This is where the breaststroke specialists come along.
Yeah.
Cara Hanlon back in on this one. So we have 4 going in the very first heat. In lane 3, Katie Caldwell, Morgan Bearsden. 4, Ella McGeorge, Cooper District. 5, Fern Crichton, Dundee City Aquatics. And 6, Holly Robinson from Repton. Times are all in the sort of high 34 seconds. Pretty level start, but Holly Robinson from Repton on the far side just shades it. Ella McGeorge, Cooper District in lane 4, on with Katie Caldwell. M&B in lane 3. Katie's finishing pretty strongly. It's going to be on the touch here. Holly. And in lane 4, Ella McGeorge, Katie Caldwell. A nice improvement for Holly there, 34.22.
Nice.
Big improvement, in fact.
Good swimming.
So Anna de Grossa from Best in 1. Emily McGee, Carnoustie in 2. In lane number 3, we have Elena Gugu from City Manchester. Amy Owenson in 4 from Best. 5, Ellen Walsh, Ireland. 6, Sarah Smith, Warner Bass. 7, Anna Finlay, Derwent Side. And 8, Mabel Walker, Repton.
Pretty close across the pool. Maybe lane 7.
Could well be lane 7. Coming through strongly now in lanes 4, 5 and 6. Ellen Walsh in 5, Zara Smith in 6. Anna Finlay, I think, has got this one. Lane 2, Emily McGee also well up there. It's lane 7, lane 4, lane 5 and 2. Yeah, Anna Finlay. 34.27, Ellen Walsh from Ireland, 34.52, and Carnoustie swimmer Emily McGee, 34.72 in 3rd.
those teeth in, Robert.
Yeah, need to get the teeth in, yeah.
May Rogers in 1 here. Michaeline Stockbro in 2. Emily Morgan Hughes in 3. Ailey Robertson in 4. Vicky Russell in 5. Bridget Lemazurier in 6. Lucy Stoves in 7. And Ophelia Neudecker in 8. So youngster in the centre lane here, Ailey Robertson. So the third in line of the Robertson clan. But she's just been edged slightly by Stirling University's Vicky Russell, 7 years her senior, and on the other side of her, Emily Morgan Hughes from Bath University. So those three, I think, who stretching ahead of the rest of them, and I think it is going to be Vicky Russell, but Emily Morgan Hughes is coming in tight as well, and it is just Vicky Russell by 100th from Emily Morgan Hughes. 33.91, 33.92, 34.11 for Ailey Robertson.
Yeah, Ailey will need to finish a little bit stronger. She just didn't get that stroke spot on. I had to glide in 34.11, but I'm sure she'll be back for the junior final tonight.
You'd expect so, wouldn't you?
Nice swim from her. Owen Cook in 1. Edinburgh University 2. Hannah Bowley, Repton 3. Laurie de Hannah from Liga Ora in France. Cara Hanlon 4. Edinburgh University. Kira Fletcher 5. Nova Centurion 6. Jill Nanchun Tong from WVZ 7. Paige Fenton, Loughborough, and Gita Gad in 8 from Hobenstadt.
6 and 4. Jill Nai Chung Tong in 6 and Cara Hanlon in 4. Cara has been in great form. She just got edged out in the 100 last night, which still a very impressive 67. She got Scottish record at Bucks just a couple of weeks ago, and on this 50,
she's well
looking absolutely fantastic. And she's a 31.25.
2 and 6 perhaps. Yep.
That is a very, very fast swim. Hannah Bowley second, and Jill Nai Chung Tong 33.47 in third. So that was the first of the 3 circle seeded heats, and the pace did definitely step up.
Lisa Edmonds, Emir Coyle, Cornelia Palmer, Anastasia Clodrico, Katie Goodburn, Niamh Coyle, Grace Palmer, Kirsten Powell.
So no lane 4 today. Cease, who won the 100 last night, is not swimming today. Giving everyone else a chance. So taking that chance in 5 is Katie Goodburn, and 3 is Cornelia Palmer. Katie, fourth at British Championships, just missed out on a medal last year. It was a very, very close race. And also outside her, going well, is Niamh Coyle, Irish swimmer. It's going to those 3, but I think it's going to be Cornelia, who takes it in a 32.54. Second, it's Niamh just edging out Katie, 32.65 to 32.90. I think they're all good bets for the final.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But let's see what happens in this final heat. The speed in this final heat could push them out if they all swim to form, but we'll see. Ciara Davidson in 1, Charlotte Hardy in 2, Anka Gurums in 3, Imogen Clark in 4, Anne Palmans in 5, Anna Morgan in 6, Jana Spinner in 7, and in lane 8, Charlotte Williams.
Charlotte Hardy looked very impressive in the junior final last night. In lane 2 from Millfield, 16-year-old.
Yep. And Jana Spinner had a cracking 53 last night as well. And she's gone out strong, as has lane 4 Imogen Clark, and in 5 Anna Palmans. Those 3, Edinburgh Uni's Anna Morgan in 6, trying to pull back as well, but it's definitely going to be Imogen Clark taking this one from Anna Palmans, and I think maybe lane 3 coming through late, Anka Gurums. See, and it was Jana just held on to 31.16 for Imogen.
Only 200s between third and fourth.
Yeah, 31.56 second, 32.45 and 32.47. So let's see what that does to the A and B finals. It's going to be tight, I think, in that 32 middle.
I think Anka just maybe scrapes in.
Yeah, Imogen through to Anna Morgan.
Pretty tight though.
32.84 there. And then Katie, 32, missed out by 600s in a B final. Down through to Kira Fletcher. And then we move into, we're looking for juniors again.
Yeah, Ellie Robertson certainly very prominent for that one.
John Smith, a junior as well.
Yeah.
Number of juniors in there, so hopefully they've done enough. But we'll see after the afternoon. After the afternoon swimming.
So a bit more distance work we've got to do, Tony.
800s now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Men's 800 freestyle.
So 2 heats this morning, with again the fastest one later on. It's hard to look at Liam McLaughlin and not think that he's Warner Bass, but he's now Edinburgh University.
And has been
for
three, this is his third year indeed,
yeah,
but you're right.
yeah.
It's so funny when you do this in this locale for so long, the names fit a certain club.
Yeah.
And Liam is certainly that Warner swimmer. Let's review the rest of the field. Ben McLaughlin from Gary in 2. Elliot Sibley, Nova Centurion in 3. Liam McLaughlin in 4. Alex Harron from Derventio in 5. In 6, Daniel Rabinovich from Israeli's junior national team in 7. Scott Fleming, turned to fly earlier this morning. Did the 1500 yesterday as well, Scott. So he's certainly loading the events up. I would think if you were going to ask people what were the 3 toughest events at a meet, you'd have the 1500, the 800, the 200 fly, and possibly the 400 IM.
Yeah.
So he's almost got the full house there, Scott.
He wouldn't have it any other way, because Andy Figgins would insist he does it.
True.
And he'd be disappointed if he didn't do it.
True.
And perform at a very high level.
Yeah, so helpful having a coach who's encouraging in that way for you.
Yep.
And the stalwart of the Scottish swimming scene for many decades.
Yeah.
And good to see him here this weekend. He'll be standing on the poolside over there. You can see him just halfway across the pool, with his black t-shirt on. And be signalling to Scott, keep it going. And it's 1:00:47 there for that first.
You'll see it right at the back of the field, the 6th swimmer in that yellow cap, Ben McLaughlin from Geary. I've not seen the afternoon programme, Tony, but if we've got some 800s for the younger swimmers, look to see quite a few Geary swimmers in that. Because last week I had the pleasure of being up at Aberdeen poolside, and there were 2 heats of 15, I think it was 1500 free for the guys. 19 or 20 swimmers, half the field were from Geary.
They make them different there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And it's so refreshing to see, well, Geary have always done that, but it's great to see them encourage their swimmers to do a lot of distance stuff. And they perform very well, to be fair. And another thing, they do a lot of open water. I'll throw that in. So those of you listening to us on the live stream, we have 5 open water events throughout the year. First one is the East District, which is our local one, Tony. That's
where's that?
Goes ahead on the 4th of June at local Meadows in Fife.
Oh, very nice.
So check that one out. The next one is the 25th of June. That's in the Midlands District at Monaghy. West District is the 29th of July. That's over at Venaker near Canada. The national one, I think it's the weekend of 12th and 13th of August. I think that's down around the other side of Renfrew, Lochwinnock, I think. Check the Scottish Swimming web page for that one. And the final one is 2nd of September up near Aviemore for the North District. So if you're into open water or you want to give that a try, it's great fun. Outdoors, lovely summer weather. Get your barbecues and come along and join us for that. It's one of the things I get involved in as well, Tony, as you're well aware.
A good day out.
It's a good day out, yeah.
Hard day out if you're competing, a good day out if you're at the barbecue cooking the food.
Indeed, indeed.
Back in the pool, Alex Harrand has gone very strong out here, Daventio swimmer, 18-year-old. And he's really gone out at pace. Scott Fleming keeping with him. Daniel Rabinovic, the Israeli swimmer, also there with Scott, but no doubt it's Alex Harrand who at the halfway is a 4:13.66. So that's a good start for him.
So we're looking at certainly an improved time.
Under
4:30,
8:30, sorry, if you can keep it going.
Yeah. Daniel and Scott having a race between themselves at the moment.
Yep. So Scott was just outside, a bit outside his pace yesterday in the 1500, but this is looking much more on where he was from his entry time, looking strong. And lanes 3 coming through, Elliot Sibley as well. So Scott making a little move, 33 there in that 50. Alex is still faster than him in the pool, so Alex keeping that lead. Well, let's see in those splits whether Elliot Sibley making a move. He's the fastest in the pool at the moment. And he has come back quite well on this 500. 5:19.65.
2.5 seconds or so. Still to play for.
Yeah. The others are pacing just slightly faster than Alex, so they may be just coming back at him. As they go into the wall here, it'll be 2:50 to go. So let's see whether it's going to be a three-way race here.
I think the answer to that one is a definite yes.
I think you're right. They're now swimming a second and a half almost as quick, and all of a sudden it's a three-way race. And don't discount Elliot Sibley either.
Yeah, he's going to make up a fair bit, but he's going pretty well still.
Yeah, that's probably pushing it a bit for Elliot, isn't it? But the three of them are going to be pushing themselves on. And the momentum is going to be with Daniel and Scott, and Daniel's going to turn first, or is it? Yeah, Daniel, 6:27.85. So the lead has changed with 200 to go.
Israeli boys looking pretty strong. But, Scott Fleming is also staying with them.
Yeah, and they're now repping 6,500, so in and around that 8:40. I think they're going to get under that because they'll pick up the pace in these last 200s you'd expect. And it's now all turned around, and it's Daniel and Scott head to head. And I think we're going to have a head to head between Elliot and Alex for third, fourth.
Certainly looks that way now.
Elliot's now the fastest in the pool, and he's really motoring in this last half. So he's going to get third. It's going to too much, I think, to catch up Daniel and Scott. So let's see where we get to with Daniel and Scott with 100 to go. And the bell, lovely sound.
Daniel just with the edge has just found that little bit extra in that last 150 here, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, he found a half a second there, and he's just motored away.
You can see just where that black spot thing is. Andy Figgins checking his progress. Coming down the stretch. And Daniel looks as though he's got this one now, Tony.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's a really well-paced swim here from Daniel. 8:40 he came in on. He's looking very strong.
Both of them are going to come inside their entry time, which is excellent.
Yeah, good to see. It's going to be nicely under, actually. So a really strong second half to this race for Daniel, and he comes pushing in an 8:35.77. That's a really fine back end to that race for him. Scott gets under the 8:40. Elliot Sibley almost caught him up, half a second down in third place. So that's a nice swim there. 8:35.77. So swimmers there will be pleased with that.
Nice also to get under that 8:40 mark, Tony. It's always these numbers psychologically, these guys want to get under.
Yeah, nice to do. Right. So now moving into the second of three. Third heat will be swum this evening, and I would hang around for that one this evening. I think that's going to be a cracking race. Starts at 5:30. That one will be about probably about half six, quarter to 7 maybe.
Yeah.
That's got Daniel Whiffen, Luke Turley and Felix Obeck. I think that'll be a cracking race. In the pool now though, we've got Joseph Kingsland from Nova Centurion in 1, Cameron Travis, University of Aberdeen Performance in 2, Nathan Whiffen, twin brother of Daniel from Loughborough Uni in 3, Michael Flynn, City of Glasgow in 4, Alexander Sargent, Millfield in 5, Jack Munsey, Stirling Uni in 6, in 7, Jack Fleming from Loughborough, and in 8, Dennis O'Brien from the National Centre in Limerick. I'd watch out for Alexander Sargent. He did almost a minute improvement, I think it was, on his 1500 yesterday in the morning session. Fantastic, well-paced swim, negative split that. So see whether he's got the same form coming in to this 800 as well. Nathan Whiffen and Alexander are pushing this one on. 8:20, 8:20, 19 and 18, 8:20 entry times. So turning in at 58.39. Right in between there, Michael Flynn, City of Glasgow swimmer. Got a senior academy member. Final at the British Summer Championships last year, Michael. But he's currently being outflanked by Nathan Whiffen, Irish swimmer training at Loughborough, and Alex Sargent, the Millfield swimmer.
There's not very much between the three Scottish boys, Flynn, Munsey and Travis.
Yeah.
Jack Munsey just looks as though he's slightly eased ahead of the other two Scots boys, and just gone third. But Whiffen and Sargent got quite a nice lead at this early stage.
Ripping 62-ish, 62 and a half, so that'll get them faster than their entry times if they can keep that up. Nathan and Alexander. Michael's got a really speedy 8:14 entry. He's slightly down on that though at the moment, and it's Nathan and Alexander who are definitely taking this one on. Nathan's trying to shake off Alexander, I think.
You can see from your splits, Jack Munsey pacing out a little bit slower than the two guys in front, just over 32 seconds, whereas it was a high 30 and a sort of mid 31 and a bit. You see the splits there: Whiffen 31, Sargent 31.37, Munsey 32.19. Jack Fleming now in lane 7, trying to pick up the pace and close on Jack Munsey.
Yeah. Dennis O'Brien in 8 won the junior 1500 title yesterday, and assuming he can get in under 8:35, so it's going to be tight, but 8:35 he will win the junior title again in the 800. So we'll just keep an eye on that one, because no juniors swimming in the final heat this evening. So difficult swimming slightly on his own out there in 8, but he'll know what pacing he wants to do. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So here we come up at the halfway mark. And we'll be over the 4, but it's not much over the 4. 4:04.65. So that's 9 seconds up on the morning of the first heat.
Race really looks as though it's all about about third and fourth here. Yeah. Jack Munsey and Jack Fleming.
Yeah, Daniel's slightly down on the split from earlier. He's about 4 seconds off split on that 400 for the junior title. So let's just see how he gets on. I think Daniel Rabinovic maybe in for the junior title.
Well, we've got 300 to go. We'll see what the gap is. Just a shade over 2 seconds. Well, Sargent still pacing in the 31 range. Whiffen just dropped his pace a little bit. If Sargent can just find something, we might have an exciting finish and maybe another dead heat, Tony.
Easier said than done, I suspect, but he's shown some fantastic form. He did a 50 backstroke earlier on, so he's ranging from 50s all the way through to 1500s and 8s. Cross strokes, still looking strong though, but Nathan is, so Alexander just slightly faster, and Michael Flynn's trying to pick up his pace as well. And he has come back strong on this second half, Michael. It's going to be tough for Alexander to catch up, but he's entry time 8:19, so both these swimmers are looking good to get under that. They're going to maybe a 2:05 in this final 200, or even faster. Will get them into the low 8-teens, and that'll be good swimming from both of them.
Well, Sargent is very, very slightly closing, but it's tenths of a second rather than half a second, which he needs to do.
But he's still within touching distance, you'd think. And he's just gone a 31.33, so that was a second up. So it's still
2 seconds to find, and
that's going to be
in about a 140.
Okay, well, but he's on his feet, so let's see if he can really pull it back to keep his strong swimming going. And here we go, here's the bell, lovely sound of the bell, 100 to go. And you could see Nathan picked it up there in that last 50, as did Alexander. So there's a really strong swim from both of them. You can see Alexander is picking up, so is Nathan. Both really pushing hard on this final 100. And as they turn with 50 to go, it's Nathan Whiffen. I think Alexander's left it too late. Yeah, he's half a second quicker on that one, and he's really pushed off, as has Nathan. And they're both pushing really hard as they come down this final 50. I think Nathan's going to hold on, but Alexander is really pushing hard all the way.
It's not going to be a dead heat, Tony, but there's not going to be much in it.
I don't think so. It's but a cracking swim from both boys. They really pushed each other on. 8:13.19 he holds on to take that. 8:14.46 for Alexander. So both of them having really nice improvements on their entry time. That will be satisfying for both of them. And third it was Jack Munsey coming in an 8:28. Jack Munsey just slightly over his entry.
Does that make Daniel Rabinovic at the moment, so, unless there's a big surprise this afternoon?
Yeah, no juniors this afternoon, so I think looking at that, Dennis O'Brien, so I think Daniel Rabinovic gets the junior title. So a good swim there, like a good 800. Say watch out for the evening swim, that'll be a cracker.
Yeah, the caption might come up as it did with the ladies. If not, it hasn't. That's good. We've got 6 ladies taking part in the first of 5 heats of 200 free. This is the last event of the morning session. So we have Laura Trumpet from France, teammate Anish Pidevin in 3, Sophie McGoo from Hohenstadt in 4, Drew Mackenzie, City of Glasgow 5, Lydia Parker, University of Bath in 6, and Elise Cousins, Perth City in lane number 7. 204s, 205s entries here. These girls can qualify for the junior final, so they'll be going to go as fast as they can off. And please stay with us. After that 200, there is potentially a swim off for the 100 backstroke, which we'll hopefully get some more news on and keep you updated. So a very level start. We've gone about halfway. That's now Lydia Parker, I think, in lane 6, who's just come to the fore. And it's Lydia with the advantage at the moment by about half a second from Sophie Magoo and Ines Pudovin. Drew Mackenzie now coming into the mix in lane 5. So the Glasgow swimmer. So approaching the halfway mark. Well, I don't think they're going to be troubling their entry times. 104.46 and 101.96.
To come pretty strong back on that.
Mackenzie certainly threatening to take charge here. So for Magoo. Yeah, it's actually the 50 backstroke. There will be a swim off potentially for that. It's now advantage Drew. I'll probably looking at a finish somewhere around the 206 mark or thereabouts. Lydia Parker, Sophie Magoo. That's Drew Mackenzie's race from the looks of things with 20 or so to go, coming down the final stretch. Sophie trying to put in a late charge, but I think she's just going to hang on. Pretty tight to the death, but Drew Mackenzie's going to hang on. She takes that. Sophie Magoo and Lydia Parker, the second and third, 206.66, 207.06 and 207.32. Whole field just treating it as a race almost within itself. Entries are a few seconds over their entry time. As we move on to heat number 2. Laurie Devine from Repton in 1. 2, Angelina Roman from the Netherlands. 3, Anna Ravenlegen from Belgium. 4, Maria Godden, Ireland. 5, Valentina Leclerc from France. 6, Katie Shannon, Stirling University. 7, Maisie Elliott, Loughborough University. And 8, Georgina Pryor from Vencio. Interesting, Katie Shannon maybe just seeing what she can do in a 200 freestyle for interest.
Bit of a training weekend here. She did the 100 fly yesterday and had made the final, got third I think, won a 61, 62, so an unusual event for her to do individually, but as you were saying earlier on the 400 IM, maybe that's her least strong, I wouldn't say weak, and so getting in some practice yesterday on that fly and looking very strong on this 200 freestyle as well.
Yeah.
It's easy just to expect Katie to swim well, but we shouldn't, because you know, she just unbelievable. She just seems to keep powering on. and across all the events, and really testing herself in this event, or this meet, with multiple swims and a strong start. 53, 59, 31 there.
Yeah. Very useful when she was swimming over in the West District. Well, she's still with the West District, was it the Glasgow? Has some district records at 8 and 1500 free on short course. So, I know this is only 200, but she's no slouch at freestyle.
No. And she turns 1:31.3. You kind of thinking she's going to be on her entry time.
Yeah, somewhere around about 2:03-ish.
Slightly catching up slightly. Valentine Leclerc, the French swimmer from Ligora. She's starting to push hard on Katie. And as they come into the flags, this Shanahan, she just edged out that last race she had by 300. So she's going to manage to show her class here, and she does. And she wins this one by a comfortable 500th this time. So that was a comfy swim there, 2:03.05. So that's nice. That is an improvement on her entry time. So nice for her there. And, I'm not sure. I think we'll have her in the running for an A or a B final. Moving into the circle seeded heats now. We have Yara Kalmthout, Netherlands in 1. And Hua Campabadal Amescua from Spain in 2. Jana van Kooten in 3. Katie Deloof, American in 4. Silke Hulkenborg in 5 from the Netherlands. Stine Bro from Denmark in 6. 7 is Jemima Hall, University of Bath, and 8 is Zinke Del Commune from the Belgian team. And these entry times here now in the circle seeded heat starting at under 2 minutes, 1:58 through to 2:03s in lane 8. And still pretty even though across the pool in the first 50.
Van Kooten maybe just shades it from Singapore. For the swimmers in the middle lanes, 5th and 4th respectively. Probably just biding their time at the moment, Tony.
Seeing what they need to do, but it's a strong start from Singer Bro, the Danish swimmer.
And Hulkenborg and Deloof now coming back towards the mix. They're still in 4th and 5th place, but not much in it. Bro still going well in lane 6.
58.55, so that's just under a second faster than Katie in that previous heat. So good swim here, good heat swim. She's in on a 2-minute entry, almost dead. So getting under that 2-minute barrier at some point will be a big aim for her.
About five almost in a line for second place.
Yeah, so she could get under 2 minutes here, you know, Singbro. She repeats that slightly faster on this 4th 50. She could well get under that 2-minute barrier. Keep an eye on that. And she's looking strong on her outside. Jemima Hall, University of Bath swimmers coming through strong as well.
Deloof and Hulkenborg with a lot to do to get into a final here. It's going to be lane 3.
Oh, just over.
You get second. Jemima Hall. Oh, the two fancied swimmers way off.
Dear, Katie Deloof in 6, so you're going to have to keep an eye out for that one. It would be a surprise.
Indeed. So second.
Not her strongest event, Katie. I mean, she's more a sprinter, but still, you would. 1:58.2 is no slouch. So we're moving on to heat 4. Rachel Anderson, Loughborough Uni in 1. Alba Herrero Lazaro, Spanish swimmer in 2. Victoria Catterson from Ireland in 3. Ambi Wood, Loughborough Uni in 4. No swimmer in 5. Candice Hall, City of Sheffield in 6. Cornelia Pama from Oberstdorfer Austrian team in 7, and Lotte van Houwert from Belgium in lane 8. So Anastia Gorbenko isn't swimming this morning. Not sure why that is. She had a great day yesterday, but clearly something happened overnight. So she's left Abby Wood. No lane 1 either, actually, so Rachel Anderson missing. So a strong start though in lane 4, Abby Wood. British champion, Abby. She's gone out strong. 58.14, so that's faster again than the previous heat. But very, very even behind her. Across the pool, Anhua, Alba, Victoria, Candice and Cornelia, all really within an arm's length apart from each other. But it's Abby Wood who's really gone out on this one, 1:29.04, so that's slightly faster than the previous. And who's going to get second? It's looking like it's going to be Candice Hall at the moment, but Cornelia Palmer from Oberstdorfer is still fighting hard in that far side of the pool. But it's Abby Wood who's going to take this one. Nice strong heat swim here, and she's just over the 2 minute as well, 2:00.30. Second it was Victoria Catterson, who came in very fast.
She did indeed.
In lane 3 from nowhere almost. Can get second. And just confirmation there. Third was Candice Hall, who just edged out Cornelia Palmer, but 100th behind Victoria Catterson, who timed that finish to perfection.
Looked an easy swim for Abby.
Yeah, no, that looked very nice.
You kind of wondered whether she's concentrating just today on this one, giving it her all, rather than also doing the 400 IM. That would have been an event you would have half expected Abby Wood to be doing.
That one to Freya and Katie. Final race of the morning session, and it's the last 5th heat of the women's 200 freestyle. Caroline Jensen, Hivstaten in 1. We will have some swim-offs after this, but this is the final of the regulation events. Roos van Dotterdyk in lane 2. Lucy Hope in 3. Sorry, Roos is not swimming in this one, apologies. Lucy Hope in 3, Stirling University. Freya Ranson, University of Bath in 4. Paige Madden, Loughborough University in 5. Mia Sleven, Loughborough University in 6. Paula Jus Sanchez from Spain in 7. And Evie Davis, Stirling University in lane 8. Strong field here. Freya Anderson, European silver medalist, just missed out on medals in both the Commonwealth Games and World Championships, but then got in there at the European Championships to get that silver medal. And she was joint owner of the Edinburgh International meet record, 1:58.04. So see how close she can get to that over the course of the day. 57.52. Got lane 3 beside her, Lucy Hope, also podium potential swimmer. Known as a 150, but she's doing well here, keeping up with Freya. And then Paige Madden on the other side.
It says a lot for Lucy, still at 26, competing at this high level.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So 1:28.18. So this is a good swim from Freya.
Lucy Hope making sure that she's going to be there or thereabouts in the middle lanes for this evening.
Yeah, and the two of them pushing each other on. So there's going to be no doubt they're going to be in the final in the centre lanes, I suspect, this evening. 2 minutes is the fastest time so far. And she's going to get under 2 minutes here. 1:59.25. Paige also under.
Also well there.
Lucy just under as well. Paige 2:55. That was the fastest heat by a margin. So that will put a bit of the cat amongst the pigeons, I think, on some of these placings. All 4 swimmers there on the 2 minutes. So I think the winners of the previous 2 heats will be okay, but
They'll be either side, yeah, but Paige Madden, Mia Slavin will certainly be in.
And I don't think we're going to see Katie
So,
DeLoof in that final.
No, 201.81 is what they had to do to even get in this final. And, a few casualties.
But still, that's a good B final, isn't it? Katie DeLoof and Katie Shanahan sitting in there. And then we move into the...
So 2 swimmers to look forward to, Tony.
Excellent. So what events are these in?
We have a 50 backstroke, and we also have 100 butterfly.
Excellent. Ooh, 200 butterflies in a session. That's tough going.
So 2 guys. So it's the Dutch swimmer, Mila Jikasum in lane 4, and Sam Peace from Stirling Uni, who goes in lane number 5.
Do we know what time they did? Because I
they both
suspect
did 26.62
right,
earlier
so
on.
what's the bets on them both getting under 25 in this one then? Under 26. Under 25 would be really impressive. Maybe under 26 would be...
probably 3-1, Tony.
Yeah, it's often the way, isn't it, with swim-offs that the winner at least tends to go significantly faster and often find themselves, had they done that swim in the heat, they'd have got themselves easily into the final that they're seeking to swim off to. Is this for reserves or is this for in the final?
Is this the B? I think this is the... So this is potentially for the B final. There have been some withdrawals apparently from possibly the A/B final. So as a result, these guys have a second chance.
Excellent. So Niels Jikshum and Sam Pease. Great start there from Sam. And he's really taken this one on. But Niels is coming back as they approach the halfway. 15 to go. Sam's making the early running, but Niels is absolutely giving it everything under the flags. He's coming back strongly. It's going to be all on the touch. Oh, 26.20. So it is faster than their heat swim from Sam Pease, who takes it by 15/100s from Niels Jiksoom. So not under the 26, but still faster. So that's good to see. Always nice to get your improvement.
And it's nearly half a second faster. I'd have given you 3-1 if it was half a second, Tony, and it wasn't far off that.
So here's the 100 fly swim off. Regit's guard from Hoofstatten. And it's Manon Domingion from Aura Libra, a French swimmer. So we have...
so this is first reserve for the B final. So again, we're not sure, but there might have been the odd withdrawal, and these ladies have a second chance.
Yep. I mean, if there's enough withdrawals, they might both get into their final, having had their swim off. But let's see. And
so pretty level start. Both of them virtually together. Gita in a blue cap and a light blue cap. So there's still virtually stroke for stroke here, Tony, as we reach halfway mark. The French lass that just has a slight advantage. Key to get a good push off that turn, which she's managed to do. And she's got almost a body length advantage.
Yeah, and they're faster. So it was a 102.79 that they both swam earlier on, which was a big improvement for Manon on her entry time. Regitz went slightly slower than her entry, but Manon is pushing forward here, and she's going to get another improvement by the looks of things. She's been pushed hard by Regitz, but she's going to take it in a 102.40, so that's a further improvement for Manon. She came in a 104, so she's dropped a couple of seconds on this event, so she'll be delighted with that, I'm sure, and hopefully might find herself in the B final as well. So is that is us for the morning, I think, isn't it?
That's it for the morning. Yeah, probably will be in PT to look forward to tonight.
PT will be, yeah. Duncan Scott, Thomas Jansen, the 400 IM, Katie Shanahan, Freya Colbert in the 400 IM, and then we've got double skins men's 50 back, women's 50 back, and the men's 50 free, and the women's 50 breaststroke. So plenty to look forward to at 5:30. We've got swimming again this afternoon.
As you can see, 12:25, 12:30 start. So please join us. So from Tony Rose, myself, Robert Taylor, thanks for being with us at the Edinburgh International Meet Session 4.